Hey guys, this is Dave Sharp, co-founder of Empower Network, and here's how we're going to start out the call. This is what I want you guys to do. I'm actually going to unmute the lines again, and I want all kind of in an organized, chaotic way. I want everybody to absolutely scream their butts off if you're excited and pumped up to be on this call, friends. I can tell you that tonight's call is going to be something that's going to give you some insight into how to make more money faster, and we're going to bring you absolute clarity on exactly how just personally my partner and I, Dave Wood, and myself have made over $400,000 in affiliate income in the last 90 days, plus how some of our affiliates, a lot of our leaders have doubled their income over the course of the last 90 days as well. Guys, listen. This is going to be a big call. It's very rare that Dave and I are actually on the same call together these days just because we're busy and we're doing different things at different times. So, guys, again, if you're on this call, you are absolutely in the right place at the right time, and this is going to be a big, big call. It's going to be a breakthrough for a lot of you on this call tonight. So, again, I'm going to unmute the lines. I want you to freaking scream your head off if you're excited, and we'll get started here in just a few minutes.
Guys, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm freaking talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Guys, this is Dave Sharp, co-founder of Empower Network, and I'm absolutely as or more excited to be on this call as you are. Guys, tonight's call is going to be something that I like to just refer to as epic, and the reason why is because, first and foremost, my partner and I are both on the call tonight. What we're going to be doing is breaking down and revealing exactly how we've made so much money as affiliates over the course of not only the last 90 to 120 days, guys, since our last event. It was back in June 10, 2012, but also in the past 10 months. And the reason why I say 9 or 10 months, the reason why I say that is because I want you to keep in mind a couple of things over the course of this call. Number one, Dave and I, the owners of this company, are actually affiliates just like you are. Okay, that's something that sets us apart, and one of the reasons why we're so different than any other company out there in the industry right now is because we're actually in the trenches and we're actually marketing and working right alongside of you guys. So that's something that we're committed to doing since day one. It's something that we'll never stop doing. It's something that we are more excited to be doing more now because we've built this amazing infrastructure to support you guys. But that's the first thing that I want you to keep in mind. The second thing that I want you to keep in mind is that we when we first got started as a company, and Dave and I actually went through merchant issues. Now, a lot of our people continued to process. So we're coming up on our year anniversary on October 31st. But there was about a month and a half throughout that period of time that we went through some startup challenges, just like every single company does when they launch, and most companies don't make it through, number one, because they're weenies and they don't have the heart to persevere through some struggles, but number two is because they don't see it coming and are not prepared or don't have the right resources or resourcefulness in place to be able to get through it. Number three is this. We're going to be talking about incomes tonight. We're going to be talking about how to get big-ass checks on stage. We're going to be talking about how our people, how our leaders, how even the average people who have never had success inside of the industry before have made a lot of money inside of Empower Network. This is going to be a call that's geared towards our affiliates tonight. Now, if you're somebody who's just interested in being a customer and using our products, we love you and you're welcome to listen in. But this is going to be geared towards how to make more money in your business faster tonight. And we're actually going to break down some of the principles that we've actually used, some of the actual real-life strategies, concepts, principles that we've used to be able to go in the last 11 months to creating an empire that's really bigger than the majority of companies that have been out there for a long time. We're going to be talking about income. I want you to know
that we have an income disclosure at empowernetwork.com/income.php. And just because we talk about income and how much income that we've been able to make over the course of the last 9 to 11 months doesn't mean that everybody is going to experience those same results. So I wanted to get that right out of the way, to be compliant first and foremost, but also to be realistic, so you know that not only are we doing what we're saying and we're getting huge results, but we're also realistic and we're real people. We put our pants on the same way that you do. And if you're on this call for the very first time getting plugged into what we're doing here at Empower Networks, I want you to know that we are real people who experience real things, go through real struggles, and have been exactly where you are sitting in your seat tonight listening to this call, or if you're like me, pacing around your house because you're all pumped up. Guys, I don't say that lightly. A couple of years ago, actually now it's been almost 5 years ago, I was at rock bottom myself. And I'm going to tell you this just for identification purposes because, again, I want you to realize that here at Empower Network, not only do we show and teach people how to make money, and a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people are getting massive results, but we also experience a lot of personal breakthroughs as well. And we've come from places that are some of the most rock bottom situations that a lot of people have ever experienced. Me personally, and this is just my story almost 5 years ago, I was at rock bottom struggling with addiction, alcoholism. I had been homeless off and on for 10 years. I had my daughter when I was 16. I left my mom's house when I was young at about 14 years old. And from 14 for the next, 6 to 10 years, life was difficult for me. 6 to 8 years or so. I made it really difficult on myself because I'm absolutely not a victim. Of course, there were some circumstances that were beyond my control, but I was at a place almost 5 years ago that I could barely think for myself. I couldn't put a couple of sentences together. I definitely couldn't hold a thought. I'm still ADD as hell, but back then I was super ADD. And guys, I literally had to humble myself to ask for help, crawl my way into a room, ask some people to help me save my life, and it worked. Because I humbled myself, because I realized that what I was doing wasn't working, and I want you to relate this to business and life as well. If what you've been doing up until this point has not been putting money in the mailbox, then maybe it's time that you try a different way. I had to do that in my personal life, which started to teach me a lot of the principles that I now use in my business. It's allowed me to do millions and millions and millions of dollars in sales online. Guys, I've been through the ringer and back. Fortunately for me, because I got around the right people at the right time, at the right place, and followed my heart and stopped thinking my way out of every good situation and opportunity that was in front of me. I'm going to say that again. Because I followed my heart and my unconscious and stopped thinking my way out of every good situation and opportunity that was in front of me, I've been able over the course of the last 5 years to not only stay completely clean and sober, completely turn my life around, go from robbing Peter to pay Paul, having no money in my bank account, just being in a ridiculously desperate financial situation, not having my daughter around me, to not only being debt-free and having money in the bank account, having assets, getting my daughter back. She lives with me, and I take care of her full-time today. She's 12 years old, almost 13. Pray for me. Most unbelievable kid ever. And I've also built businesses and learned some concepts and secrets because I needed to. I was working construction after getting clean, driving an old 1990 Ford F-150 with the paint peeling off of the front hood, and it was just a big rust bucket piece of crap. A lot of you have seen pictures of it and know where I came from, but I got involved in this industry, and for a long time I struggled because I didn't know what I'm going to share with you guys on the call tonight. I was grinding. The numbers weren't making sense in my business. I actually started out the same way that many people start out, which is sitting in front of a home presentation. I saw you get five, who get five, who get five. I was instantly seduced and said to myself, I'm going to be rich in this son of a bitch. And I was absolutely hypnotized by the whole industry, by the concept of being an entrepreneur. Now, I had absolutely been an entrepreneur in my life before that. It was just on the wrong side of the railroad tracks, if you know what I mean. And a lot of people said, Dave, you'd make a great business person, a great entrepreneur, if you just find a legal business. And that was, of course, before I got clean and many, many years ago. But when I got involved in the marketing industry, I did all of the dumb things that so many of us do when we first get started, guys. Not only did I chase friends and family, not only did I put signs in my yard and magnets on that old rust bucket truck, but I didn't understand the numbers. I didn't understand the metrics. I didn't understand what traffic was. I didn't understand what a sales funnel was. I didn't understand the concept of making automated sales online. I didn't understand that you could literally sell as much as you wanted to on the internet or through an automated sales funnel without picking up the phone because nobody had ever taught that to me. The people that I was around, the leaders that I was involved with, were making $3,000 or $4,000 a month. They were absolutely, looked up to and put on a soapbox by everybody around them. The reason why they were making so little, yes, I did say making so little, and if you're sitting in a situation to where $3,000 or $4,000 a month is a big deal to you right now, hopefully by the end of this call, it's no longer going to be a big deal to you because we're going to show you that really $3,000 or $4,000 a month is really just below getting started. I mean, truthfully, what we've done here at Empower Network, due to the information that we're going to be sharing with you tonight and we literally had to fight for some of the secrets that we know today and that we use and implement and teach people inside of our business. But what we've done is we've actually recreated the way people look at income. We've absolutely revolutionized the way that people look at a top earner or, top earner status, because the fact is that we have a lot of people, and it still surprises me and overwhelms me with gratitude every day. We have an absolute army of people who are making $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $15,000 a month, $20,000 a month. Guys, at our last event, and I want you to think about this for a second, if you're brand new on the call tonight, or if you're somebody who wasn't in San Diego and didn't get the opportunity to witness what happened there, we literally had 3,000 freaking people travel and make the commitment to come out and show up in San Diego for our last event, which was called Fight the Forces of Evil. And when I asked the room how many people in the room had made money, over 90% of the room stood up. Now, this is no coincidence. We had an event 3 months ago to where I did the same exact thing on Friday night, and over 90% of the room stood up. Why is that? Is because what we've done here at Empower Network is we have completely handed over the hands-free system that we used and developed when we were getting started to make money, and we've literally handed it over to the people and the affiliates inside of Empower Network so they can literally replicate what we were doing when we were getting a lot of results before we started the company. See, my partner and I, before we started the company, were in a situation to where we had been in the industry for a while. We were producing big numbers. As a matter of fact, we had both built really big teams in separate companies and both had a company shut down on us, and which was one of the reasons why we said to ourselves, never again will we put our eggs in the basket of company owners who are not willing to fight to the death, which is why a lot of you saw when we went through our challenges and struggles at the beginning of the year, or when we launched Empower, we didn't stop fighting. We persevered through. But what we did, and the reason why we really started the company was because we understood how to create automated sales funnels. We understood the metrics. We understood the numbers. We understood how to increase the lifetime value of a customer, which would enable somebody to make more with less traffic and less leads, whereas really what we were doing was we were doing a large volume, right, with very small commissions, and the average person with a very small ad budget couldn't replicate what we were doing because we had made some money. We understood buyer psychology. We understood how to market, and if we wanted to dump money into paid advertising, we had the budget to be able to do that. Unfortunately, the majority of people in this industry do not have that. And if you're sitting on this phone call tonight and you're wondering why you've been trying every 6 ways till Sunday to try to make money inside of this industry and you've been failing, you've been looking for the secret in course after course and guru after guru and haven't been able to find it, the reason why is because, A, the numbers are working against you, B, most likely you don't have the ad budget to be able to dump into a marketing campaign, and C, even if you did have the correct ad budget, you wouldn't be able to pull back the numbers or get a good ROI because the commissions are too low or they're too scattered out, or finally, whoever product you're selling, most likely you're not selling your own, whoever products you're selling, the marketing sucks. The majority of network marketing companies and a lot of even affiliate marketing companies, their marketing sucks. They don't know how to sell, okay? So there are some things that we did to start this company that we wanted to hand over to our teams and to the people to be able to leverage our skill sets to be able to make money, and not just any type of money, not just a little bit of money, but 100% of the commissions. Now, a lot of people when we got started thought that we were crazy because we were paying 100% commissions. Well, let me tell you something, friend, and I'm going to teach you some very, very high-level advanced skills on this call tonight. So is my partner, Dave, that if you listen and if you use these and if you really absorb this information, you don't even have to implement it right away. You may need to think about it for a day or two, but when it clicks, you will literally have what you need to be able to make the type of money that you want starting out at $10,000 and $20,000 a month. Now, is that a guarantee of income? Absolutely not. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're going to do with the information. I only know what I've been able to do with the information and what thousands of other people have been able to do who I've personally coached and who are involved in Empower Network. First and foremost, guys, one of the reasons why we've been able to grow like we've been able to grow is because of the psychology of how to keep a team around and how to attract people. First and foremost, there's two ways to keep people around. That's get a check in their hand or get them some recognition. Now, the majority of companies typically over a period of, since the industry really started, have kept people around through recognition. That means that the majority of leaders in network marketing companies are not making as much money as you think that they are. Yes, this is a little controversial, but sometimes the truth hurts before it sets you free. Guys, they're not making the big money, and they're not keeping people around because their checks are big. They're keeping people around because they give them the recognition. Now, the fact is we have more people here at Empower Network who are making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month who don't even give a shit about recognition, don't want to speak on the stage, would rather just collect their check and stay in the background and let the system work its magic, because the fact is they're staying around because it works, and it works really, really well, okay? Another thing, and another point that I want to point out to you is that Dave and I are actually affiliates, okay? And even though we don't put our names on the leaderboards, we've produced an astronomical amount of volume and made an astronomical amount of affiliate income by doing the same exact thing that everybody else has done inside of the company. We've done nothing different. We've had no special deals. Is there company revenue? Absolutely. But that's completely separate from this conversation, and the only thing that I'm going to be talking about on tonight's call is affiliate income. Guys, there are some things that you have to understand, and the truth of the matter is you only have to understand them if you really want to go out and empower people with value and share a message and be able to teach other people. The fact of the matter is, and I want to really stress this, is this works whether you understand it or not. That's why our company is so powerful. It's why our movement is so powerful. But one of the reasons why we've been able to do what we've been able to do is because we understand marketing funnels. We understand how to create more value per customer, and it's one of the reasons why we've been able to make so much so fast without pounding phones, without doing a bunch of the things that the majority of the people have to do to build a business inside of this industry. First and foremost, we understand how to build a marketing funnel, okay, a good marketing funnel. And there's some deep psychology that goes in to creating a marketing funnel that really, really converts for you. The focus is on conversions, and that's conversions on the front side, then that's conversions on the back side. Our conversions are both just astronomically high because we understand how to write copy and we understand how to create conversions on both the front and the back. The other thing is we understand the metrics, the numbers. And guys, one thing that I can tell you, and I want you to really think about, we've got some leaders on the call tonight, and here's what I want you leaders to think about. And I mean specifically leaders who are not already inside of Empower. One of the reasons why we've been able to make this work and work so well and help so many people make so much money, as well as Dave and I do well over $400,000 in affiliate income in the last 90 days or so, is because we understand how to create more from less. Here's what I mean by that.
your total customer lifetime value of a customer has to be high. If it's not high, you're absolutely going to drown yourself in debt. And here's what a lot of people do. They're told that traffic is the secret. They're told that they have to go out there and dump a bunch of money in advertising. And I can tell you that's absolutely part of the secret. The reason why people dump so much money into Empower Network is because the lifetime value of each customer is on the low end, a few $100s, and on the high end for some of our affiliates, like Lawrence and Shakir, Dave and I's lifetime value of each customer is upwards of $700 or $800, guys. So how do we create that? Well, we create that because we have something for everybody to buy, and we always have something in front of somebody for them to buy on your behalf, and it's there for them to buy whether you're there to sell it to them or not. Why is that? Because we created the funnel, we understand the conversions on the front and the back, and we understand how to create a larger lifetime value of each customer. Now, how do we do that? Well, one of the ways that we did that is we rolled out the 15K formula, and we rolled out $1,000 commissions. Now they're at $997. Truthfully, we're about to change those back to $1,000 commissions because, quite frankly, I just think $997 is kind of weenie. This ain't Walmart. It's either $1,000 or it's nothing. So we're going to change it back to $1,000. That's just a side note. But when we released that $1,000 product, what happened was not only people in the product started to learn the real how-to. If you don't have that product, you have to get that product. The reason why is because in some of our other products, we teach advanced strategy, psychology, how to move and sell through stories. But in that particular product, we taught the how-to, how to drive traffic, where the traffic sources were, copywriting strategies. I broke down Facebook pay-per-click. We broke down solo ads, where to get solo ads, how to write them, what the best things to do are in the ads. We taught how to blog persuasively, how to create social media movements through Facebook and Twitter and all of these other social platforms. But guys, here's what it did on the affiliate side is it created almost triple the amount of revenue for each customer. Why? Because all of a sudden somebody could come in and earn $1,000 commission, and they had to get, if they earned one commission, that made up for 15 or 20 customers who might have bought something much cheaper in another deal. So what I did for many years, and so did Dave, and so many other people on this call, is we sold a whole lot of a little tiny commission product, and it took for absolute ever to even be able to make our money back. What people are doing here at Empower, because of these bigger commissions, because of what we've created here on the back end as well as the front end, it all plays together. It's like a pie, and each piece is as important as the next, is we've gone from grinding. And, guys, there are a lot of people who are building a business online and offline who are absolutely grinding because maybe one part of the pie is there but the other part is not. And the majority of the time when they're earning 20, 30% commissions on a $30, $40, $50, even $100 product, it takes for absolute ever to create a $10,000 a month income. And the truth of the matter is, because we've perfected and not neglected all of these different pieces of the pie, we've been able to create something for people that has literally, for those that get in, make a decision, get started, and get all in, it's made it very simple. And I stray away from the word easy, even though it's been the easiest thing that I've ever done. Very simple for somebody to come in and actually create a $10,000 a month earner. Truth of the matter is, guys, is we had an astronomical amount of new six-figure earners created last month. Dave Wood knows that number. I think it's 16 or something just last month. And, guys, what's going to happen, because we're actually doing and releasing something really, really big. We're going to talk vaguely about that tonight. More so than anything, we want to actually teach you the concepts behind why we do what we do so you can understand it. And when it's available, you can get all in, you can get it, and you can get started, and you can move with us and not get left behind. Guys, before I turn it over to my partner, here's what I want to tell you. Timing is something that's very, very essential in life, not only in business but in life, more so in business, and let me tell you why. A lot of people talk about timing in network marketing especially. They talk about ground floor opportunities. They talk about being the next $1 billion company, all of this hogwash. The truth of the matter is it's a word that's very important and very powerful, but it's very loosely used. So many people use it in the wrong circumstances. Guys, what we've got here at Empower Network is a perfect storm of products, a badass compensation plan, and a movement of leaders and average people who are fed up with the bullshit that is absolutely brilliant and beyond my wildest dreams. It's more powerful than anything that I've ever seen before. So what I want you to do, if you're not already serious on this call tonight, I want you to get serious. I want you to get up. I want you to start pacing around. I want you to get your notebook out. I want you to get your pen. I want you to be taking notes because, guys, I've already literally given you guys some information tonight on this call up until this point that when you re-listen to this call throughout this week, and I need you to listen to this call probably 3 to 5 times, maybe 6 times over the course of the next 7 days or so, guys, if you really absorb this information, if you get all in, and if you decide to not only get all in, but also to meet us in Austin in January so we can help you release your inner badass. Isn't that a badass name of an event, really? I mean, isn't that the most badass thing you've ever heard? Truth of the matter is I've never seen so many people release their inner badass because, friends, I can tell you that you've got this animal inside of you that's just waiting to be unleashed. What you've needed up until this point is you've needed a system that works. You've needed a group of people who understand money metrics. You've needed a group of leaders who are going to believe in you until you believe in yourself. And again, you need a platform that's going to do the work for you. That doesn't mean that it's pie in the sky, but it's going to do the selling for you, and the money metrics are there with the right product at the right price points for you to be able to really create the type of lifestyle that you want. So, guys, with that being said, I'm going to bring out my partner, one of my best friends in the absolute entire world. Guys, I want to tell you something. If you ain't having fun in your business, you ain't doing it right. And I'm going to tell you one thing. There ain't nobody who has more freaking fun in their business than Dave and I. And this is why we teach you to get an accountability partner, is because Dave and I not only keep each other accountable to go and create the most badass company ever for you guys, but we also have a whole hell of a lot of fun. And I think you see that not only at our events, but also on our calls and our webinars. So with that being said, live from Costa Rica, you down there, brother? You on the call?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me, Dave?
Yeah, loud and clear, brother.
Oh, awesome, man. I've just been kind of pacing back and forth, getting pumped up. Hey, Dave, while I'm talking here just for a few minutes, and by the way, everybody on the call, I'm going to be sharing some really cool stuff, some concepts that I've learned that I really have never heard anybody else teach in the way that I'm going to teach them tonight, on how to make money, on how to create personal breakthroughs, on how to get the results that you want, how to make the money you want, how to break through things in life with and just if there's resistance there, just instead of fighting the resistance just disappears and vanishes. And I'll be talking about that as you listen, as you learn. And I'd encourage you to go ahead and pull out a pen and take some notes as I go through. Dave, can you pull out, if Tracy Walker's on the call, Tony Rush, Aaron Rashkin, Justin Varengia, and Chris Record, Dave, whoever else is in maybe the top 10, kind of some new people, if you could go and reach out to them. I'd like you guys, if you could connect with Dave, if you're on the call, I'd like you to come out maybe in somewhere between 35 minutes and an hour and a half, depending on how long I go. So we'll do that as we go through. Now, guys, here's what I want you to understand with what Dave was talking about. There's really several parts that are going on to create the kind of success that we're creating here at Empower Network. It didn't start off, I'm going to tell you just straight up, with this big of a vision, the kind of vision that we have now. When we started this company, we knew people were going to make money. I remember when I was sitting down with Dave Sharp in my room, he'd flown down to Costa Rica. We had to have call after call after call after call. And I remember sitting down with him, and I was explaining, we were talking about the comp plan. And originally when we were talking about how people are making money with the comp plan and how people could get commissions with the pass-up system, Dave Sharp didn't realize that those pass-ups could come from like 100 levels down. He thought that what happened was, you sponsored and you got pass-ups through 2 levels of people. What he didn't realize is if somebody didn't get all in, if somebody didn't buy all the products, if somebody didn't qualify for commissions on a particular product by following our rules in our comp plan, you guys can see in the Get Money tab on our site, that literally if somebody bought, for example, the $500 Costa Rica Mastermind Intensive that I did at my house, that $500 commission can literally skip up 100 or 200 or 500 levels of people who don't qualify for commissions on that product to the next person who qualifies. And so we've had some amazing things happen in Empower Network where people generate enormous commissions from very far down in their organization extremely quickly that have just been amazing. And what I saw very early on was a new vision. What I saw very early on was that we'd created a monster. We'd created something that had never been created before. We'd created something that was just the right thing in the market at the right time. And that was my goal. My goal wasn't to, originally create 100 people making $250,000 a month, which is my goal here by the end of 2013. That wasn't my goal originally because I didn't think that that was possible. I didn't think that that was achievable. But then we launched, guys. We launched. And our affiliate position made $250,000 in our first 45 days. And I saw that, and I saw how easy it was, and I saw how resistance-free that it was, and I saw how it wasn't anything different than I'd ever done in the past. It was just applying my skills to a new model, and I said, it's time. We're going to blow this thing big. When the merchant companies shut us down, guys, I'm telling you something. A lot of you guys know that story because you were in then. Some of you guys are new. You haven't been here when we've had any issues. It's just been like a streamlined process that's been getting better and better and better since you got in. Right? Whenever you got in, guys, those of you who were here during those issues, a lot of people, you know what? Some people jumped ship. A lot of people making money jumped ship, and a lot of those guys are back now. You know what else happened, though? I knew, and I knew that I knew that I knew that we were in the right place at the right time. I knew we were going to have a victory. I knew that we were going to overcome it. I knew that by making that decision and by fighting through it, I knew that we would get that problem resolved. Dave Sharp and I were on the phone with bankers, with lawyers for hours every single day. A lot of people, when we started this company, they thought people looked at us from the outside and they say, oh yeah, those guys are just passing money around, and they'd never actually looked at any of our products. They just assumed because we talk about money a lot that, we were doing what, some of these Ponzi schemes and things like this are doing. And they didn't realize that what we were doing was creating an actual company with a real culture and reinvesting profits back into the business to create an actual business. And a lot of you guys who came down to that event in San Diego, I had person after person after person after person come up to me and say, Dave, the best thing you did this weekend was that corporate panel where you brought the people up who are actually running your company. A lot of people think that Empower Network is based in Costa Rica because I live in Costa Rica. They don't realize we have an office with 15 employees with an actual COO who's hired and fired over 5,000 employees over the course of his career, who's a lawyer. A lot of people don't realize we have a lawyer running our company as our chief operations officer because Dave and I are not operations guys. A lot of people don't realize that. They don't realize the amount of money that goes back to the infrastructure, and they don't realize that we'll take $250,000 and dump it into an event just to make the event cool. A lot of you guys have seen the pictures floating around on Facebook with the Guy Fawkes mask and everybody wearing those masks, and you say, God, that's cool. Why did you do that? And here's why we did it. We did it to create a symbol of who we are and what we fight for. And what Empower Network is and what we fight for is personal freedom, guys. And what I mean by personal freedom is the ability to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, where you want to do it in the world. And, we have these pictures floating around, and you know what? You know how much those masks cost? Those masks were the hardest thing to create at the event. It cost us, I believe, it was like $13,000 or $14,000 or $15,000 just to get those masks in the room. We gave them to everybody for free just to do something cool. We do things at Empower Network not because they're in our personal best financial interest in the moment, not because they're going to make us a ton of money instantly. We do the things that we do in Empower Network because it's the right thing to do for you. We reinvest back into the company. We reinvest back into the business. We reinvest back into the corporation because I see something bigger now. And I hope you see something bigger with me. I see that you and I are together in the right place at the right time. And now it's time for you to make a decision. It's time for you to get all in. It's time for you to decide that you're going to run with us because I'm telling you something, guys, you ain't seen nothing yet. What you've seen us do over the last year has been unbelievable. But what you will see us do over the next 12 months, over the next 18 months, guys, I'm telling you we are going to create more 6- and 7-figure income earners here at Empower Network than has ever been done, not just in an internet company, guys. We're breaking it into a new league right now. Do you guys realize, I want you to think about something for a second. Those of you who are at the San Diego event, you saw the room full of people. You saw the people who were making money in the room. I want you guys to realize something. We have as many top income earners in Empower Network right now after a year of growth, and we only have had a little over 50,000 people join the company. We have as many top income earners here as a normal direct sales network marketing company that's doing over $100 million a year in sales. That's how much people are making here as affiliates, guys. It is ridiculous. Now, obviously, I'm going to disclaim, right, because I'm making a lot of money as an affiliate, doing what I'm going to teach you to do on this call tonight, And because Dave Sharp's making a lot of money, because Eric Rashkin's making a fortune, because Tony Rush and Tracy Walker are making a fortune, and because Justin Berengia made $26,000 last month. Actually, I think in September it was a little bit higher. I think he was close to 30. Because we're making all this money does not mean you're hear the message, guys. Hearing a message is one thing. What matters is that you decide to take action on the message, that you decide to run with us, that you decide to lock arms with us and fight the forces of evil and, of course, release your inner badass, right? That's what matters. What matters is that you take action. What matters is that you decide, okay? What matters is you actually do what we teach. What matters, guys, is that you step up and you say, my time is now. Look, you can be in the right place at the right time all day and night. But if you don't take action, when you're in the right place at the right time will pass you by. Guys, this is one of those moments, and I'm telling you what, you guys are in a better place than we were when we launched, because when we launched, we had issues just around the corner that nobody knew. Guys, when we launched, we did not know the things that we know now. We did not have a good company infrastructure in place. We didn't know how to run a multi-million-dollar company. Now we do. We've had more new six-figure earners here in Power Network in the last 3 months than we did in the previous time in Power Network has existed combined. In other words, in 3 months, we've produced more incomes, more new incomes from new people, guys. Since the event that we did originally in Atlanta, we produced more new incomes coming out of that event than we did from October 31st of last year when we launched in Power Network all the way up to the event. We had our leaders make more money in 3 months following that event than they had the entire combined time that they had been in Power Network, and it's just the start. I'm telling you something, guys, with what we're rolling out over the course of the next week and what we're going to be rolling out over the course of the next couple of months and what you're going to have the opportunity to participate in, it's not just being in the right place at the right time. It's not just one of those magical moments, guys. This is an opportunity to where you can change not only your inner game, but you can change the lives of people around you. I remember the first time, what it felt like, the first time I made $12,000 in an evening. And this is not normal for somebody who's this young in his business on the internet. I'm just telling you what happened to me. I remember the first time what it felt like to make $12,000 in an evening, guys, and I'm telling you something that it was more money than I'd ever made in my life. I'd never made more than about $5,000 in a month. Guys, I made more over that week than I had ever in my life up to that point in time in 5 months. I want you to think about that for a second. I want you to look at what you've made over the last 30 days. I want you to take what you've made over the last 30 days. I want you to imagine what life would be like if you made 5 times that much in an evening. I want you to imagine what life could be like if you could turn your monthly income into your daily income. Today, my daily income, guys, exceeds my previous best month ever over the course of my entire life. I want you to think about that again for a second. I want you to hear what I just said. My daily income today, guys, exceeds what I ever made in the best month of my life previous to getting started in internet marketing. My daily income is more than the previous best month of my life before I got involved in internet marketing. There's some other internet marketers on here who could tell the same story. My daily income is higher than my previous best month. How did I do that? Well, there's several parts to putting all this process together, okay? This is what I want you to understand. There's a system part, right? Now, normally to make money on the internet and make big money, you've got to create everything from scratch because pretty much whatever you promote sucks or it sucks you dry. What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is, I've promoted stuff, guys, that honestly it sold like absolute garbage. You could send 10,000 people to the company websites and not even a person would join. Maybe 1 in 20,000 people you sent to the website would join, right? So I learned to sell stuff on my own. I learned how to create my own funnels. I learned how to hypnotically persuade people to buy. I learned how to get people to pull out their credit cards who were the right prospects who wanted to make a decision, but they just need to be persuaded properly. I learned my language. I learned how to put together compelling sales presentations that would have people on the edge of their seats going through the emotions that they've gone through in the past where they've made buying decisions. I learned how to elicit those feelings again and to bring them out in a sales presentation. I learned how to use the power of my words. The power of my words to captivate attention. I learned how to do that. Because I learned how to do that, I was able to succeed, but I had to create it all from scratch. There's a tremendous amount of effort involved with it. There's a tremendous amount of background learning that went into it. There's a tremendous amount of crappy presentations that went into it before I started making good stuff. However, when I applied those skills into a funnel and when I put those things into a team, my income exploded virtually overnight. It took me 90 days to create an income breakthrough in my life. So there's a system part. Now, normally you've got to do that, and what's the problem with that? Not everybody can do it. And I'm one of the only people out there to just tell you point blank, not everybody can do it. Hey, look, guys, we can pretend all day and night that every single person could be Tony Robbins, but you know how many Tony Robbins there are in the world? There's one, right? Not everybody can do it, folks. Not everybody can put together compelling stuff like that. Not everybody can learn it over the course of their life if they fight their whole life to learn it. There is a gift and a skill that goes into that. So how do all the other people who can't do it make money? They need to learn to use the gifts of the people who can do it. Because if we work together as a team and we use all of our gifts and we systematize everything that the other ones are not good at, we all make more money together. It is more powerful to be unified than it is to be perfect. Guys, you cannot be perfect, but you know what we can create through unity? We can take over the dang world. Now, I want to tell you something here. When I discovered that not everybody in my team could do what I was teaching them to do, you know what I did? I stopped bothering teaching it to new people. And I started giving them a system and a process where I could literally put it into their hands, and if they would use my skill to present, if they'd use my funnels to persuade, all of them made more money, and it was an overnight transformation in my business. My income went literally from $30,000 a month to $100,000 a month overnight when I did that, when I made that simple shift. See, a lot of you guys are out there in your teams with these magical persuasion skills. A lot of you guys have these superpower abilities. You can get on the phone with people. You could close people into $25,000 stuff. You can get on a webinar, and you could close people into whatever it is that you're selling. But you know what? You're getting people involved in your business who just can't do what you're doing. So when I learned to take my ability and to put into a format other people can use, my income exploded overnight. I started earning commissions that literally were my previous best month on a daily basis, and then it turned consistent to where it was every day. And now I look at it, if I spend $5,000 or $10,000, it's there again the next day. It's literally unbelievable. So how do I put that together? Well, there's a few steps involved. Number one, there's a system process. Now, the beauty is obviously with Empower Network, you got the system down. Right? You got the system down. Now, this week, we're going to give you the ability to earn significantly larger commissions. And we're rolling that out in phases. A lot of you guys are going to see it on Thursday. I'm going to talk about that over the course of the rest of this call. You're going to have the ability to earn a massive amount of money per customer in Empower Network like you've never had the ability to do in the past. There's a system part, and if we take the skills of the best people rather than having an ego about it, we can transfer the power of the top people and put it in the hands of the team. There's an income generation part. See, a lot of you guys, you're listening to Dave talk, you're like, yeah, you guys pay all this money. Have you guys ever been on these calls where they're like, we have the best comp plan ever, we have all these people making money, and you listen to that about 400 times before you realize everybody just does the same pitch? I'm not going to tell you guys that. Why not? Because we can demonstrate it by the fact that Dave and I's income actually comes from marketing as affiliates, because almost all the money that ever comes into Empower Network goes back to the field because we actually pay 100% commissions. You guys literally have the ability to earn commissions like gurus do. You have the ability to scale your marketing. You have the ability to do media buys. You have the ability to actually market because of the income generation capability that you have here with Empower Network if you just decide to get all in. You have the ability to make money like Dave and I do, right? That, guys, is not just rare in direct sales. There's no other company doing it. And I'm just going to tell you point blank that they're not doing it because they can't. Because you know what the truth is, folks? Most people start companies because they can't be reps. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to build teams. They don't know how to persuade people. They don't know how to cultivate leaders, right? So Dave and I make money like you. That's why you have the ability to do what we do. Now, what's the next part of the formula? It's you taking your skills and getting people to the funnels that we have in place, or the funnels that you're using, whatever they are. It's taking your skills to get people to the funnel. It's dramatically easier to teach a team to get people to a funnel than it is to teach people how to build a funnel. And we've proven that here at Empower Network. When we focus an army of people at getting traffic towards our funnel, it is amazing the difference in the amount of new members that we have coming in to our company every single day. And you know what the difference is in sending traffic here, guys? A lot of you guys are on the call. You can move big numbers of people. But you're sick of sending people all over the place because you moved somebody in a ClickBank launch or you moved somebody in a new product launch, and then everywhere you move your people, they get slammed with a million offers that you don't make money on. You ever notice that? You send your leads somewhere and they just start slamming them with offers, and before you know it, your leads hate your guts and they hate the Internet's guts, and everybody's trying to get their money, and they're all over the place. What do we do different here at Empower Network? We have never sent an offer to the database of Empower Network, not even one time, that was not geared at making you more money with Empower Network. All that we've sent to the database have been stuff that you generate commissions on within our comp plan. Think about that here for a second if you guys can move numbers. Where else have you ever been involved with like that? Why do we do that? Because I've been the guy sending traffic to other people's stupid offers where they just slam people with every damned launch under the sun, and I've got to compete to recapture my people all the time. Here at Empower, you bring a member in, and they are coded to you on their power lines for the lifetime of that member as long as you stay active. Folks, there's a power in what we're doing and staying consistent in having a unified message and doing the right thing at the right time. There's a power in it demonstrated by the fact that our event just went from 1,250 people to 2,500 in 3 months, that we doubled all the top incomes of all of our top people, and that we're about to double them again over the next 30 days. There's a power in being consistent that we have here where you don't see Dave and I looking to the left and the right. You don't see us going towards a goal and saying, oh, let's back off and go towards another goal. What have you seen since we launched this company? You've seen Empower Network, get all in, buy all the products, get 2 signups a day. You've seen a consistent message because our message is proven to work. So if you guys will just lock arms with us and you'll run with that message, you'll get traffic to that funnel, you'll get eyeballs to see our stuff, I am telling you, I will help you make the easiest money that you've ever made in your life. We have people here, guys, who got in, they threw some people in, they didn't think anything of it, they hopped to the next thing, and then 6 months later they look back and they say, holy crap, I'm still making $15,000 a month over there. You know what? So now they're back. They realize that Empower Network is not just some little internet thing, it's a big deal. What's the third element here that you need? This is what it is. Guys, you need to get rid of the crap in your brain that's holding you back from success. And I'm telling you guys, some of you guys got bullshit in your brain. Now, it ain't your fault because some of you were born in families that were deficient, right? We all have problems growing up. We all have belief systems that are stupid. We turn on the television and what do we see? We see the poor farmer, right, who has superpowers, who comes from another planet, and the evil, rich, bald guy, right, who's trying to take over the world and always trying to manipulate. A lot of you guys have problems. You have problems with money. You think rich people are evil or whatever your problem is, you've got issues with money. I talk to people all the time who start listening to our Inner Circle calls and they're letting go of stupid beliefs where they have an issue with money. They have an issue with buying stuff. Some of you guys have an issue with buying products. You have an issue with spending money on advertising. You have an issue with investing into your business, right? I'm telling you something, you need to let go of that bull crap or you'll never make any money in your business. You got to let go of it. I made a decision this time around when I got started in my business in 2009, and it was a different decision I'd ever made in my life. And here was the decision, folks. It was that I was going to buy what I need to buy no matter what it took. It was that I was going to invest whatever it took into my business financially, and that I was going to find a way to come up with the money no matter what the cost was. It was that I was going to win no matter what, and I was going to work no matter what it took to get what I wanted for my business, which at the time was only $30,000 a month. I know that I say only now because I'm looking back and I think $30,000 a month, honestly, it's just for starters, right? But at the time, that was like this magical number for me. If I could make $30,000 a month, I thought the universe around me would suddenly transform. And it did. That decision, guys, deciding that I was going to do whatever it took, deciding that I was going to let go of my stupid excuses, deciding that I was going to break through barriers that stood in my way with my forehead, it didn't matter if there were nails on the wall, deciding that I was going to persevere through persecution if nobody in my family believed in me. Now, I was lucky in the sense that my wife always believed in me, right? But a lot of people in my family, they were trying to get me to go to college this whole time and saying, oh, yeah, Dave, keep going, go back to school. And you know what the reality is, folks? That decision was the best decision I ever made in my life. Because I was in a place like you're at right now. In 2009, where was I? I was at the right place at the right time to use my skills. And I had a small window to capitalize on that. Small window, guys. And if I didn't take action then, I'm telling you, it would have taken 100 times the work to do what I did if I didn't do what I did right then. It was a small window in time, and I decided to go all in. All in financially, all in emotionally. All in psychologically. And I've been all in ever since that day. 3 months it took me to have my first $30,000 a month. We talk about $30,000 a month a lot. Why? Because when I started making $30,000 a month, I just remember what it was like. to be able to pick up and move where I wanted to move, so I moved to Costa Rica. I remember what it was like to decide at the last minute that I was going to go travel to an event in Las Vegas, and I was sitting in Costa Rica, and I just popped online, bought the plane tickets, didn't even look at the price. I remember what it was like to go to my first restaurant where I opened up and looked at the menu, and I looked for the most expensive thing, and I ordered that instead of the cheapest thing. I remember what it was like, folks, to be able to go on vacations, to be able to travel the world, to win exotic luxury cruises and things like this. I remember what it was like to have that feeling where I was the guy on stage. I remember what it was like to make my first video that went viral and had thousands of people see it, and all of a sudden people just started coming out of the woodworks to join my business. I remember what it was like, guys, when all of a sudden everything became easy, when all of a sudden what used to take me all day started taking no time because it happened automatically before I got out of bed. I remember that, guys. And I'm telling you something, there ain't nothing like that feeling. And that happens right around the time you get $30,000 a month. Why $30,000 a month? Here's why. It happens around $30,000 a month because at that level of income, if you can create that income, if you can trust in us, if you can just believe in our message, if you can just decide to take action on things that we say, $30,000 a month is enough to where almost all of society will be jealous of the way that you live. Almost everyone. And the people who make more usually have lives that suck, and your life will be cool because you'll be able to live wherever you want, do whatever you want, with whoever you want, whenever you want. Guys, there's a magic that happens at that moment. So I hit that income that I had the goal. I told people from day one I was going to make $30,000 a month in 90 days. I hit it in 90 days. It was unbelievable because I was speaking it, because I was acting on it. I hit it in 90 days. I remember I was telling people when I hit this income, I'm going to pick up, I'm going to move to Costa Rica. I'm going to be drinking out of coconut, sinking my toes into the hot sand. I'm going to live on the beaches of the world, and I'm going to travel around on exotic locations and cruises, and that's why I'm in this thing, because I'm in this thing to do what I want, when I want, with who I want, so I never have to be controlled by time and money again, so I can be free. And you know what I did? The asinine thing that I did was I made $30,000 a month, and I actually went and did what I told people I was going to do. Looked at my wife one day and I said, "Babe, want to move to Costa Rica?" She said, "Yep." Bought plane tickets and just moved. I'd never even been here. Why did I do that? Because I wanted to. And when I did that, when I went and I lived my dreams, which I had the ability to do when I hit $30,000 a month, my businesses exploded and it took me 10 minutes in a day to do what used to take me 10 hours. My credibility shot through the roof. Everybody became people who wanted to listen to me, who I ever talked to. Because even if they made more money, which was ultra rare, even if they made more, they would look at me and they'd say, "God, I'm jealous of your life. How can I do that too?" And I'd say, "Here's the steps." There was a problem, though. I could not just give what I had to people like we can here at Empower Network. This is why we started the company. When we started this company, the mission was simple. We wanted the people to be able to make money just like I do, just like Dave Sharp does, just like the gurus do. We wanted to build this not for us but for the people. We wanted not to be the richest people in network marketing, because who gives a shit? We wanted the richest team. We wanted the richest team. And you know what? We got it. Do you guys realize that? We got exactly what we wanted. So that's the next step in building your business. Set a perfectly clear intention of what you're going to achieve, and you go after that thing like a dog at a gnarled, meat-covered bone, and you don't let go of it until you got it. You just go after it with all your heart and soul. Why? Because, folks, what is there in life other than living your dreams, other than giving your family the lifestyle they want, other than flying around and being able to do the things that you want to do with who you want to do them, other than fulfilling your purpose and your destiny in life? What is there to do? You're in the right place at the right time. Now it's time to make a decision. And that's the next step. You've got to have a clear intention. What does a clear intention mean? Does it mean I'm going to get rich on the internet? No. No. Because what does that even mean? What does rich mean? See, to me, rich was $30,000 a month, right? $30,000 a month and 2 hours a day was my goal, and I hit it in 90 days. And then I actually still kept working more for a while because I wanted more than that, right? So I was adding to my empire. That was rich to me. You got to define what you want, guys. You got to define it clearly. You got to describe why you want it. Why do you want $30,000 a month? Why do you want $100,000 a month? Why do you want $250,000 a month? Why do you want to build an army in Power Network? Guys, why do you want to lock arms with us and travel the world together with us and be on the cruises and wear the red lapels at our events and be able to have front row seating on couches while everybody else has to sit back on the sidelines? Why do you want to do these things? Why do you want to be involved with us? Why do you want to be all in? Why is it that you want to be on the stage in front of 15,000 people? See, I got a dream, guys. We just had about 3,000 people over in San Diego, and I was sitting in that looking at 3,000 people with Guy Fawkes masks on, the V for Vendetta mask. I was just looking at that kind of giggling. It was the most badass sight I've ever seen in my life. But I looked at that ocean of people, and you know what I saw? I saw in the room the foundations of having 50,000 people in an auditorium, not just in America. 50,000 people here, 50,000 people in Asia, 50,000 people in Europe, 50,000 people all over the world, guys. Auditoriums full of people where 95% of the room is making money and the rest of them, they're just not all in yet. I saw a vision, guys, of being able to create more wealth than anybody's ever done because that's our purpose. That's our purpose, right? So that's the next step in the formula. Now, here's the next part, and this is important. This is ultra important. It's you. Guys, if we've got a formula, we've got a culture, we've got the systems, we've got everything to support it. You know what the difference is between you and Tony Rush? Tony Rush realized he's in the right place at the right time. He went all in, and maybe he didn't have some of the issues that you've had. The only thing that's left is you making a decision. The only thing that's left is you. Now, I'm going to tell you after I talk about this here for a second. We're going to talk about you for a sec, and then we're going to go back to, what's next. The only thing that's left is you. The only thing is left is you saying, no matter what it takes, no matter the work I have to do for a little while, whatever I got to do over the next 90 days, it's fine. After that, I'll scale my work back down. But whatever I got to do, I'm doing it. It's you standing up, looking yourself in the mirror, pulling up your pants the same way that we do, and saying, no matter what it takes, I'm doing it, and I'm going to go all in. I'm going to take action, and it will be done, period. I'm living my dreams. Folks, that's the difference. How did Tony Rush make $62,000 last month or whatever it was, and you made whatever you made, which was probably less than that? Right? The difference is Tony Rush decided to have a consistent vision, consistent words coming out of his mouth, and he decided to take action, and he knew he was in the right place at the right time. Right? And he could tell that story for himself. What was the difference between me and you? It was back in 2009. I saw a video online. There was 1,000 circumstances that had to be in place for me to see that video. Folks, it was a combination. I don't know how that happened exactly. It was like the universe was combining together to get me to have an experience to where I made a decision to go all in. And when I saw that, I knew I was in the right place at the right time. I took massive action. I did whatever it took. And because I was there, not just because I was there, but because I decided from that experience that I'm going to go all out, it only took me 90 days to have $30,000 a month. Why is Tracy Walker where she's at today? Not because she was in the right place at the right time. Because she was in the right place at the right time, and she got a phone call with me. I'm not going to tell you exactly what I said because you'll have to go to the next event. And she decided to take action. And she just knew it was the right thing to do. And she didn't just know, she actually took action. Guys, here's what's going to happen over the next 60 days, over the next 90 days leading up to our next event. Here's what happened last time. Last event, do you know what happened? Exactly what our intention was for the event happened exactly the way that we spoke it, exactly the way that we wrote it down, and Dave could tell you, it's word for word how we said it was going to happen. It happened, and what was the goal? The goal was, from that first event, we were going to teach people things there that were going to double the room, and we were going to bring back at least double to the next event, and everybody's checks were going to double in the process in 90 days. And you know what? It happened exactly the way that we spoke it. Why? Because that is the way the world works. You have a vision, you speak it, and you take massive action. And when you do that, guys, and when you're in the right place at the right time, and when you decide that you're going to do it, and no matter what, it will be done, it happens. It's unbelievable. It's like you have magical powers. And so we said we're going to double the room from what we teach here, and we did. What was our intention at the last event? Our intention was a little bit bigger than that. Why? Because we see a new vision here. Because we see you. Our intention from this last event, simple. Our intention from the last event, folks, was to create a new $30,000 a month earner every 24 hours. Why? Because no one's ever done anything like that. Simple. Because we can. Because we have the ability to do what nobody else has done. Because we have the ability to have the most successful team ever in network marketing because we're helping people actually make money here. Because we have a culture that's keeping people around. Because we have a culture that systemically helps people progress to the next level. Now, to break through, there's a few things that you need. Now, in Costa Rica, we brought people down to this little exclusive gathering. We taught them some things that have never been taught. I was actually talking to Dave Sharp earlier today, and I said, man, I wish I had had some of this stuff when I got started in my business. We taught things that have never been taught in any seminar you've ever been to in your life, and we recorded them, right? Why did we record them? We recorded them so we can show them to everybody. So you guys are going to have the ability to learn what people learned who came down to that retreat. And person after person after person will tell you from that retreat they've never heard any information like that ever in their life. They've never had an experience like that ever in their life, and they've never seen what they saw at that event. It is our best product that we're releasing here at Empower Network, right? And here's the power behind it. You're going to have the ability to earn exotically bigger commissions than you've ever earned in your life from selling that product out there in the marketplace. And we pre-released at our event. And I'm telling you, the combination of what we taught at that event and the release of that product, guys, we are going to have the power and the ability as a team here at Empower Network. And you can capitalize on it if you move with us. It's not just the people who see the vision, guys. It's the people who see the vision. They make a decision. They say, no matter what, I'm all in. I'm doing it. So what do I believe is going to happen? This is what I believe is going to happen. As a disclaimer, I ain't a prophet, right? And what I believe is going to happen has no bearing on how much money you're going to make because you have the bearing on how much money you're going to make, right? Look at our income disclosure. We disclose everywhere because we want you to know that it's up to you. You don't make money doing nothing here at Empower Network unless you've got a big team, which you get by putting a lot of people in and doing whatever it takes. And then you can make money doing nothing because your team's working and producing. In the meantime, take some action. It's up to you. Here's what I believe is going to happen, though. I believe that we are going to have somebody on this call who decides to buy the master's course, who's at zero, who's never made any money in their life, who's going to be at $100,000 a month by our next event in January. I believe it'll happen. I believe there will be people at our last event who've never made any money in their life who by our event in January will be at $100,000 a month. I believe that we will have an army of people making $30,000 a month here at Empower. I believe, guys, that we are going to have the most successful team that we've ever had in network marketing. Why? Well, here's why. Because I was sitting there after about a year and a half. This is back in 2010, I think, or 2011, maybe early. I think it was early 2011. Yeah, it was early. It was around April of 2011. April of 2011. I'm getting my dates mixed up in my head. And I was sitting there. I was wondering why my income wasn't going up. And I was sitting there, I was walking through the woods, just a little frustrated because I was making a lot of money, but my income had kind of got stuck. You ever been there where you just felt like you're just not progressing? My income had gotten stuck, right? So here's what happened. I was walking through the woods, frustrated, thinking a lot. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever been to a point in your life where you've had a moment of inspiration that just changed everything. Well, how does a moment of inspiration happen? It happens through a process that you have to go through to have inspiration. Most people don't realize that in order to have inspiration, you actually have to be confused or frustrated beforehand. Most people think that you have to feel peaceful to have inspiration. The fact is, unless you're confused and asking questions, you actually cannot have inspiration. Inspiration is a byproduct of being confused, asking questions, and focusing your intention. It's how your brain works, right? So I allow myself to get confused and frustrated from time to time so I can ask the right questions to have breakthroughs, because you got to be confused to have breakthroughs. It's one of these weird things, the way the brain works. Don't resist being in a place, guys, where you allow yourself to be confused for a moment. It's okay. So I was confused because I was like, my income should be growing. What's wrong? And I started asking. I was walking through the mountains thinking. I had a moment of inspiration where this company downloaded into my brain, and I said, that will work. So I tried it. So what got me from $30,000 a month to $100,000 a month? Here's what it was. I decided on a whim to sell a product that was $3,500, right? I decided on a whim to try it to just see if it would work. I just wanted to see if I could get on a webinar and people would buy it without me picking up the phone. Because I've been able to sell everything else without picking up the phone. A lot of you guys don't realize people in Empower Network actually buy all the products. They actually pull out their credit card and buy all the products without phone calls. And people aren't used to that. They're used to having to hammer people to death to get them to buy stuff. Well, in Power Network, guys, we embedded the psychology we've been using for years, where we've been selling stuff for $1,000 with 0 phone calls at all. It's unbelievable to people who've never been around anything like it. They say, how do you do this? And I say, it doesn't matter. Just send people into the funnel, and we're going to keep selling and selling and selling and selling for you, and we're going to help you make as much money as you could possibly make, because I know that if I help you create more success you've ever created in your life, here's what I know. I know that if I help you create more success than you've ever created, ever in your entire life, you're going to stick around and create more to lift us all up, because a rising tide lifts all ships at sea. And I know that's the way that it works, because I think in terms of abundance, not scarcity. I think in terms that I want to give to you the power that I've got, because if I give you the power that I've got, if I hand it over to you and I say, I believe in a world of abundance and I believe that there's more than enough for me, if I do that I can make more too. My family's going to be fine. My goal is to help lift you up, because in lifting you up, I'll have whatever I want to have. That's my vision. So I decided to sell this $3,500 product at this, first at an event and then at a live stream. And you know what happened? That month I made $100,000 in a month. First time ever. First time ever I made $100,000 a month. I looked at that and I said, it was just as easy as making $30,000 a month. It was just as easy as making $30,000 a month to make $100,000 a month. I just needed to have access to bigger money. And I saw that and I said, I'm going to help people get rich. I know how to do it now. That was the foundation of Empower Network. Guys, I'm telling you something. We are going to give you the power to create breakthroughs that you've never created before. We are going to give it the ability to you to do things that you've never done. And what's the formula for you? It's to listen, and I want you to do that for once in your life. I want you to scratch off what other bullshit you've listened to in the past. I want you to scratch off the things from the old school things. I want you to scratch off the things from the previous marketing deals that you've been. I want you to just delete it from your brain just for a second and focus on my words for a moment. I want you to actually do what we teach. I want you to actually do what you teach and take notes on it. And actually go and do it and apply it and do it in your business. And maybe you could do that right now. Maybe you could start making money for the first time in your life. I want you to actually do what we teach. Some people say, Dave, how do I do that? Well, first go through the Fast Start videos. Second, buy all the products. Second, start going through the products as you go and do what we say in them. Folks, do what we say here. It's simple. There's nothing that you're ever going to find that's more simple than this. There is no secret that we're holding back from you. You say, Dave, okay, I hear you. I know that you're making $160,000, $170,000 a month, and actually this month is probably be more like $300,000 as an affiliate because of this new product we're releasing. But you know what, guys? And that's, by the way, just affiliate money. It's not including company. That's not company stuff, right? That's just our affiliate incomes here. So you say, okay, Dave, I know you're doing it. I know you're doing all this stuff, but where's the secret? Okay, here's the secret. I send people to the video that every single one of you can send people to that's behind the capture page. And I just keep doing it. And you say, okay, Dave, what's the super secret video? Well, that one. The one that everybody here has access to if you just send people to that video. I send people to the same exact video every single day that you have on all your blogs. So if there's a secret, it's that. Send more people to the video. You say, Dave, I'm not getting results doing that. Well, that's probably because you only sent one person there. Send more until you're getting 2 signups a day. Why do I say 2 signups a day? Because 2 a day is easy. 2 a day is easy. 2 a day is accessible to everybody. I got 2 signups a day just from blogging my first 45 days on the internet selling bullshit with a bad presentation. How did I do it? I did it by sending traffic. Just do it. Just decide to do it. Guys, as this week rolls out, you're going to have the ability to earn $3,000 commissions. And I'm just telling you guys that's what you're going to have the ability to do. I want you to imagine for a second. Now, some of you guys were at our event in San Diego, right, where we talked about this, and you guys kind of know, but everybody here is under non-disclosures and stuff like that, so a lot of the rest of the people in Empower haven't heard about it. Here's what this gives you the ability to do. It gives you the ability, earning $3,000 commissions. Here's what it gives you the ability to do. 1 sale a day of that is $90,000 a month in a 30-day month. 1 sale a day. You say, Dave, how do I get a sale a day of that? Well, it's real simple. First, you get 2 a day of the 25. We're going to sell it for you. Here's the thing that I want you to understand. We released a $1,000 product. It doubled everyone's incomes. You say, how did that double everybody's incomes? We got continuity. We got all this stuff. Because of 2 factors. People aren't doing anything to sell it. We're doing the selling. In other words, people are just sending money into sending people into the video, right? People are just sending people into the video, and people are just buying. And then they keep buying our other products, and they keep learning, they keep getting better, and they keep evolving because the products are actually good, because the products we actually do what's in the products is how we build our businesses. And then we just started selling a $1,000 product in addition to a $500. When we did that, everybody's income doubled. All of a sudden, people had the ability to earn $1,000 a day from day one. How? By just sending people to the original video, and we do the rest. Because we are doing the selling for that product. That's part of it. Now, guys, what's going to be the difference with the $3,000 product? Here's what it's going to do. It's going to do, without any other increase in the Empower Network, it will double all of the people's incomes who are working, all of them. That's what it's going to do. Now, we'll watch and see what it actually does over the course of the next month. I believe it'll be a lot more than that this month. That's what it's going to be able to do. It's going to be able to double the incomes. I want you to think about this for a second, right? And by the way, guys, there's no hard close here on the call, so you can stick around, put your credit card away, because it's not available for everybody in Empower Network yet. I'm just telling you it's coming, and it's coming over the course of the end of the week and next week, and I'm just telling you now to get ready and to figure out a way to get it. And the reason I'm telling you that is because the information in it will change your life, and I'm telling you that because, guys, because you're going to have the ability to earn $3,000 commissions. Now, when you do, I want you to think about this here for a second. One sale of that a day, one sale a day is $90,000 a month without any of the other commissions from the rest of the products. Think about that for a second. There's a bonus video that I did in the Costa Rica Mastermind Intensive. Hopefully everybody in this call is all in Empower Network. Hopefully everybody on the call is all in. You've made a decision to get all in. Hopefully you guys have decided that you're going to take action on being in the right place at the right time, on that feeling that you've had here, the different kind of energy that you've had here. Hopefully you guys have been taking action and you realize what you've got. Hopefully you've been doing that, right? I want you to just imagine what it's going to do for you. Watch that bonus video in the Costa Rica Intensive that I did for you on how to make $1,000 a day. Watch the new member webinar on how to make $1,000 a day. And then here's what I want you to do. Add $2,000 to it. And imagine a $3,000 commission stacked on top of it and how fast that's going to accelerate your ability to make money. Here's what it did for me. I added a commission by selling my own stuff years ago. Now, I haven't done this in a long time. I've been making $160,000 a month as an affiliate without this stuff, right? So here's what it did for me. I added that, went to $100,000 a month overnight. That's what it did for me. That's what it did for me. What does it do? It gives you the ability to tap into massive financial resources quickly. There will be people who are in Empower Network who over the course of the next week will make a decision, maybe you, and you'll take massive action. You'll learn what's actually in that course. Folks, this is like 39 videos or something like that, 14 hours of pure content that literally is not taught anywhere, and the ability to resell it and earn $3,000 commissions. Guys, you will learn stuff from this, and you will apply it in your business, and there will be people on this call who will literally, because you made a decision, I'm telling you something, there's somebody on this call that will go from 0 to $100,000 a month by the next event. There's somebody who will do it. Why? I'm going to tell you a couple stories here real quick. And some concepts, guys. And these concepts are breakthrough concepts. These concepts are what drives prosperity. There's several aspects to getting yourself to do what you know you need to do, right, to build your business. There's several things that you need to do in order to make it so you're going to do what it takes in your business to get the results you want. What's one of them? One of them is just deciding that you are going to hit whatever your intention is no matter what it takes. You set a very clear intention for how much you want to earn, for why you want to earn it, for what needs to be in place for you to earn it, and you go after it following the game plan that actually works, which we give you with clarity, in the Fast Start training. If you go through those 8 videos in the Fast Start training, we give you the game plan there. You also need to do what it says in there, right, which includes buying all the products. There's 2 reasons why you need to buy all the products. You need to buy all the products, guys. First reason is, I'm just going to tell you straight up, is because psychologically there's an impediment to selling stuff that you haven't bought. Psychologically, you're going to have issues that wouldn't be there, that would just dissolve if you made a decision to buy, even if it puts you a little bit on the line. How do I know? I know because I've been there, and I've been poor, and I've gotten what I need to get anyway, and it made a massive difference when I did. I was in a place once where I was in a business, and I wasn't all in the products, and I had absolutely no money to buy any of the products that I needed to buy, and I was supposed to buy them anyways, and I didn't know how I'd come up with it, but I said, I'm going to make a decision and do it. And because I made that decision, all of a sudden my entire business changed. All of a sudden I was able to sell things that I couldn't sell the previous day because my belief level changed because I made the decision I was asking other people to make. There's a psychological reason why it's good to do that. There's a story at the event from a guy named Jeff Buchanan who's in Empower Network. He's been in internet marketing for several years. One day I'll bring him out. He can tell a story where he had been in the internet for several years and he had never bought any of the things he needed to buy. And he just never made any money. And then one day he's on for several years. He needed to buy something and he felt like he needed to buy it. He sold his car to buy it. He sold his car, right? I think he was like $1,500. Now he took that $1,500 and he wasted it on advertising that didn't work. You know what he told me, though? He was in the top 25 leaders in the last contest, and he was just marketing Empower on the side. Now he's kind of all in. But he told me at this last thing we were hanging out, he said, something in my brain changed when I let go of that money, when I let go of the car. Something in his mind changed. His mindset shifted when he let go of control over the money. He didn't have a lot of money, guys. He didn't have fortune. He said even though all the money was wasted on internet, he said 4 months later he had I can't remember what his numbers were. It was like his first $10,000 a month or $20,000 a month or something like that. I know that that's true because it's the same thing that happened to me. I decided to go all in. I know it's true because the same thing happened to Dave Sharp. He decided to go all in when he got on the internet on a whim. One day he woke up and he said, I'm going full time now. And he just started working his ass off. And you know what happened? About a year later, he and I started Empower Network together. Before that, he was making multiple five-figure income every single month when we started Empower Network. He started Empower Network, and you know what, folks? I couldn't have done this without Dave, and that's why we are where we are, because Dave made a decision that he's going to go all in. You know, when he made that decision to go all in, he wasn't making any money at all. He just decided, I'm going to go all in, I'm going to start working my ass off, and I'm going to get the results that I want. I'm quitting my job. He left his construction job to start working his ass off, and you know what? It was only a few months later he had his first five-figure month. I know that when you make a decision that puts yourself on the line, something in your brain shifts and changes that needs to happen in order for you to have the success that you want. Some of you just putting yourself on the line, some of you guys means parting with a little bit of money that you're scared to part with, right? And that's okay. I was scared. Folks, I was so nervous when I got started in online marketing because I'd failed so many times in the past, but you know what? I decided that I was going to do it no matter what. I wasn't going to take any excuses for myself. Here's what happened to me because I decided that I wasn't going to take any excuses for myself. My brain did not allow me from that day ever again to take excuses from another man or woman because I did it from a van. And if I could do it from a van and if I could make the decisions that I made and I could come up with the money that I needed to do it from a van, no one could ever tell me, Dave, I can't make this happen. Now in Empower Network, folks, nobody can ever give me an excuse for failure in Empower Network. Why? Because the banks shut us down twice. We lost money for 2 months. We lost $100,000 a month for 2 months reinvesting back in our company. Well, we couldn't process payments, and we booted up again like nothing had ever stopped 2 months later. And after that struggle, you know what? No one could ever give me an excuse of why they can't make this work because their struggle is less than mine. I know that when I made a decision to put myself on the line, to go all in something emotionally, guys, emotionally, to put it out there, there's something magical that happens. Something magical that happens. And I know that that will happen for you, whatever that is. Some of you guys, it's just going full time. Some of you guys need to make a decision to just go full-time like Dave did. Now, I'm not going to suggest that you do that because everybody here is in different situations, and not everybody should do that. Lawrence wasn't in that situation when he got started. He did this entirely part-time. Some of you guys, though, are holding on to your job, and you're holding on to a tiny paycheck that could be replaced in 3 weeks if you work your ass off and you're resisting doing it, and you know you need to do it. Some of you guys need to do it, and you need to make that decision, right? Some of you guys, you just need to decide to buy all the products and just do it. Some of you need to decide to do it. Some of you guys, you need to buy the master's course, right? Now, what I want to do is I'm going to spend 3 minutes here. I'm going to teach you guys a process, okay? I'm going to teach you a process. I want you to take notes on this, and there's a reason why I want you to take notes on this. If you take notes on this, you'll be able to do it exactly how I say to do it, and it will work for you, and it'll work every time. If you don't take notes on it, get that result, it's a good thing to be able to take notes. If you can, we're going to put this up in the members area as well, and it'll replay every few days for the next few days. Now, first of all, what I want to do is I want you to realize, especially if you've got a team, people in your team will buy this $3,000 product with or without you. Just realize that, and it's okay if you miss some commissions in the beginning because those will go to the next qualified sponsor. It's not a big deal, okay? Now, I want to teach you guys how to access financial resources that you don't have. Now, some of this is going to be for people who just need to upgrade to the $500 product to cross over that emotional barrier. Some of you, that's all you need to do. You just need to upgrade and decide to buy. Some of you guys need to buy all the products we've got, and some of you guys need to invest money into advertising that you don't have, right? Because you're part-time or you don't have, and you need to put yourself out there a little bit. And I'm telling you guys, there's nothing more powerful than putting yourself out there a little bit. Okay, there's nothing more powerful than doing it. And what I want you to do, I'm going to teach you a process that has worked 100% of the time. And this is a process that I used to actually overcome the no money objection when I was actually talking to people on the phone, closing people into my businesses. And guys, this process, it worked with people where it didn't make sense. I talked to people who literally had no access to money anywhere in their life. They had no credit cards, and I ran them through this process. I ran them through it, and they were able to come up with financial resources in 3 days doing nothing illegal, right, which is part of the process, right? You got to do things that are ethical and honest, right, to make this work. Now, this is amazing how well it works. And if you guys understand this and you understand the power of this, right, you understand the power in making a decision. Right? You understand the power in accessing belief. You understand the power in putting yourself on the line a little bit. You understand the power of that, guys? You cross over an emotional bridge that nothing else can make you cross over. I remember what it felt like to cross over that bridge, and I knew from that moment that it would happen for me, and it did. Right? So how do you do it? Well, first of all, I want everybody here to realize something. Right? I want everybody here to realize something, no matter who invited you here, no matter where you are in the world, that people who are rich think differently from people that are poor. Let me repeat that again. People who are rich think differently from people that are poor. Most rich people didn't start rich. I didn't start rich. Dave Sharp didn't start rich. John Raskin didn't start rich. You know what I'm saying? Tony Rush didn't start rich. You should have heard his story at the last event. He had an unbelievable story over the next year I didn't even know. Right? We had Kevin and Melissa Connect at the last event, who literally 3 months before, they were in bankruptcy, and at that last event in San Diego, they had $35,000 in their checking account that they had generated from scratch in addition to all their expenses, guys, in 3 months from bankruptcy, right? There is a difference in the way rich people think from the way poor people think, and it doesn't start when they're rich. It starts when they don't have resources. Here's the difference. Let me ask you guys a question here who are on the call. And the reason I'm doing this, guys, is because I want to teach you how to think like a billionaire for the rest of your life. I want to teach you how to have access to power. This isn't just good for Empower Network. If you ever need to come up with resources in your life, if you ever need resources you don't have access to ever in your life, if you ever need to be able to come up with money for a down payment on a house, or you need to be able to come up with money to be able to get education somewhere, or you need to be able to come up with money to be able to create a business that's just in your brain that doesn't even exist yet, that doesn't exist in the world, or you need access to programmers, you need access to employees, you can use this same process to come up with the resources of whatever you want in your life, and I'm telling you guys to do it, okay? So pull out a pen. First thing I want you to write down, difference between the rich and the poor. Let me ask you a question. Everybody here should be familiar with Richard Branson, okay, or Donald Trump or some billionaire out there. Now, if, let's say Donald Trump, for example, needs $1 billion to build a hotel, right? He needs $1 billion, and he's only got $100 million, right? What's the difference between him and you if you only had $100 and you need 1,000? Nothing. The difference is the same. The ratio is the same. He has access to a little bit more resources than you, and the ratio is the same. He doesn't have access, and he needs access, right? What's the difference, though, between a rich person and a poor person? Somehow the rich guy comes up with it. Somehow Donald Trump will go get $900 million if he needs it. He'll do it every single time, and he'll never not get it. He'll get it every single time. Do you think if Richard Branson needed $1 billion to start a new company, do you think he would even think that it wasn't possible? No, he'd get it every single time. He'd say, I don't have the money, I'm going to get it. How do they do that? They do that by thinking differently. And that's the thing that I want you to realize, guys, is if you learn to think like rich people, okay, this is the first key. If you learn to think like rich people, which where it starts is it starts when they don't have the resources they want. If you learn to think like the rich, there will be no difference at all between you. Maybe time. So here's the process. The process is first envisioning the result that you want in a clear way. So let's teach that to you guys just here for a second. I want you guys to listen to this 5 times if you need to get it right. If you're driving around your car and you're walking around, I want to teach you how to come up with access to resources. Okay, and here is what I want you to write. And write this down exactly as I say it, because I'm going to have you guys read it out loud. And some of you guys are going to do it, and some of you guys aren't. And the ones who aren't, I can't promise you're going to get any sort of result, right? But those of you who do it, every single person that I've done this who has actually done the process, and I've ran through people on the phone where it made no sense has come up with the money to do whatever they wanted to do, right? And I've done it, and it's amazing. I've had people come up with thousands of dollars in 3 days who had absolutely nothing to do something they needed to want to do, and because of that, they had a breakthrough. And it's unbelievable, guys, how consistently this has worked, okay? And I promise you, every time I've done it with somebody, every time I've done it with someone, it's worked the exact same way every time. And you guys can use this when you're on the phone with people. If people are saying, I don't have money to buy the $1,000 product, if I don't have money to buy the Costa Rica Masters course, you can use this process or get them to listen to this audio. It'll be in the inner circle as well. After it's playing there for a few days, is the audio of the week. Guys, you can use this process with people if you listen to what I'm saying. You can have them listen to this audio, and I'm telling you, you will be amazed at the people who make decisions and they come up with financial resources. You'll be amazed at how easily you can generate commissions with it. You'll be amazed how a 5-minute conversation can put $3,000 into your bank account if you learn to master this process. So don't just do it for you. I want you to do it for the people in your team. I want you to do it so you can learn to access things that you never had access to before in your life. So here's what I want you to write down. You need to write it down exactly as I say it. So because of that, I'm going to repeat it 2 or 3 times. Write this down. I, comma, insert your full name. So I would write I, comma, David Michael Wood. It's my full name, comma. And sitting in front of my computer, and I just successfully process my order for the master's course in Empower Network. I can feel the wind on my face in the house from the fans blowing. I can feel the carpet on my feet. And I'm looking in my back office as I hit submit. The date is, and by the way, guys, the more clearly you describe that, the better, but you don't need to put that sentence in there. The date is, and here's what I want you guys to put, okay? I want you guys to put whatever the date on Thursday is. I actually don't know what date it is. I think it's the 4th, right? So write whatever the date on Thursday is. So the date is October 4th, Thursday, at 8 o'clock p.m., sun's just got down, it's dark outside, and I'm sitting there feeling peaceful, thinking back over the last 3 days. And thinking back over the last 3 days, I cannot believe how easy it is to come up with $3,500. I can't believe how easy it is. It blows my mind how easy it is. Period. This is how I did it. Put a colon, right? Now, I'm going to repeat this again, and it's probably going to be slightly different, but the exact same concept. The concept is you describe in visual and kinesthetic terms exactly the end point of the goal as if it's already happened, right? And then you say, this is how I did it, okay? So let me repeat that again so you guys get it. I, comma, David Michael Wood, or whatever your name is, right? And again, this will be in the audio of the week. You guys listen to this. And I'm sitting down in front of my computer. The date is October 4th, 2012, and it's 8 o'clock p.m. I've just successfully processed my order for the Costa Rica Masters course, hitting the submit button for $3,500. And looking back over the last 3 days, I can feel the fan wind blowing on my face, my feet are sinking into the carpet in my living room. I feel excited, feel peaceful. I can't believe how easy it was to come up with $3,500. It was so easy, it was unbelievable. This is how I did it. Okay? Now write it down, something very close to that. Present tense, date in the future, specific time of the day. You're sitting in front of your computer, you just process your order, and you just did it, right? Now, here's what I want you to do. I'm going to pause for a moment, okay? And I want you to look at that statement, and I want you to read it out loud 3 times, okay? And as you're reading it, I want you to visualize it. And you can add more clarity to it of what the descriptions are of the things around your room. The more you see it. For example, in my house, guys, I got these sexy little lights on the wall with these pictures of tropical birds. And my house is kind of shaped like this giant octagon or something like this. And there's frogs singing in the background. Maybe some of you guys can hear them. And there's fans blowing all in the house, blowing this kind of gentle tropical wind over my face. The air smells tropical. I'm looking out over kind of a midnight ocean. I can see the ocean off in the background. There's a little blinking light outside. The more vivid it is, the more powerful it is. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to repeat it one more time, and then I'm going to have you repeat it out loud 3 times. David Michael Wood. We'll put your name there, obviously, not mine. am sitting in front of my computer on October 4th, 2012. It's 8 o'clock p.m., the sun's gone down, and I just successfully processed my order for the Costa Rica Masters course for $3,500. I'm hitting the submit button. I can feel the wind blowing across my face, my toes digging into the carpet in my living room. I feel excited, and I can't believe how easy it was to come up with $3,500. This is how I did it. Right? Notice I did change a little bit every time, but it's just as descriptive, right? That's the important thing. Now I'm going to pause for 15 seconds. Visualizing that. Now, some of you guys, you've got way more money than that anyway. You just come up with it. Do it anyways, okay? And the reason I want you to do it is because I want you to learn the process. If you learn it, you can repeat it to other people. If you repeat it to other people, you'll never have access. People will never have it. It works every time. It's amazing. With the next part, which I'm going to give you guys an assignment here on the call, I'm going to give you guys the assignment of how you can get all in, of how you can come up with resources whenever you want. So go ahead right now, follow the assignment, read that exactly as it states out loud 3 times. I want you to do that now. We're going to come back in 30 seconds. 3 times, read it out loud as your visual. Be right back. Seconds, guys. And as you're reading, if you're still listening to this, guys, as you're reading it out loud, feel the feelings of what it's like to sit there in front of your computer, and to feel the feeling of being able to not just buy, but to feel good buying, guys, and to feel good about knowing how easy it was to come up with the resources and knowing that you're going to be able to sell a lot of them as well. Just feel that feeling as you're doing it. 20 more seconds. Okay, good enough. Now, here's what I'm going to say with this. Now, if you're done with the call, do it, guys. Because, and if you're listening to the replay, do it. Okay? Guys, if you don't do it, you're not going to be able to have access like the people who do it on the call. Now, there's a reason why. Here's what I just done for you. I've just done the single most important thing that you can ever do, that's the separation between rich and poor, and that is seeing something that is not there before it's there. Let me repeat that again. Seeing something that's not there before it's there in your imagination is the single most important difference between the rich and the poor. The rich people see things before they happen. I see 50,000 people in auditoriums all over the world. I see thousands of people making $10,000 a month. I see hundreds of people making $250,000 a month. I see a new 6-figure monthly earner every 7 days coming in Power Network. I see people having success they've never had in their life. I see thousands of new members all over the world joining Power Network every single day. I see this turning into a global movement that changes the world. I see you having more success than you've ever had in your life. Why? Because versus of evil. Every person I've done this with who has followed through with the process, come up with resources they need to get in the time frame specified. Now, here's the trick. Okay? Here's the trick. When I talk to people personally, and I do this, I give them 3 days. Don't come up with money in 3 days. I won't ever talk to them. Okay? The reason I do that, just this is a personal thing, is because by putting the pressure on like that, they'll actually do the assignment. That's the only reason. Now, here's the next part of the assignment. This is what you've got to do after the call tonight, okay? And you need to write this down. You need to actually do it. I want you to number a list from 1 to 50, okay? And I want you to write 50 ways, whatever financial resources you need. And by the way, guys, you got $3,500 sitting there. Something you could do this with 100,000. It works exactly the same. It works exactly the same every single time. And I'm going to tell you why at the end of this call, and then we're going to bring out some people. Here's why it works. Because you're seeing something as if it already happened that's in the future. Right? That's what rich people do. Now, list is from 1 to 50. You need to come up with financial resources, different ways, and you got to get to 50. It won't work if you get to 50. I'm not going to tell you why. I'll tell you why on a future call. If you get to 50, there's something that's going to happen. Now, I'm going to give you a few suggestions to your list. Now, here's the thing. You can write down whatever you want, but you got to anything that's not ethical or honest, okay? Anything that's going to hurt somebody else, you cross it off, right? You write down, just brainstorm, because one idea feeds a good idea, all right? Write down whatever you want, just cross off to anything that's not ethical, anything you don't want on there. You just cross it right off the list, right? So make to buy the master's course, and that's what you want to do, right? So here's what you do, right? Started off, you could borrow $350 from 10 people. That's one way of coming up with $3,500. You could borrow $3,500 from one person. You could buy something off Craigslist and sell it on eBay. You could go actually sell some of our products, right? That's a way of coming up with $3,500. You can actually go make some sales, right? You can call your credit card company and ask for an increase on your revolving credit line and just do that, right? Or you could go to your bank and you could ask for a credit card, right? And you could just do it, right? That's 5 ways right there. You could take some of the things around your house that are bullshit anyways, like your big old TV that you never watch because, of course, you're busy, building your business at night after you get out of your job and you don't have time anyways, and you just sell it, right? You sell your car, like Jeff Buchanan did. There's a million ways to do it. You need to come up with 50 starting with those and number it to 50. Now, here's what you're going to do after you get to number 50, and this is extraordinarily important to do, and I'm going to walk you through this process now. Really important, okay, is I want you to imagine the future and the past. And as you do, you're going to see kind of a line, like a line of time stretching into the future and the past. And imagine this now. Go ahead and visualize this with me now. Guys, this is so important to do, right? Visualize where the future is and where the past is. Now, if you had to choose a direction, the future was one direction, the past was another, which way would the future be? Everybody visualizes something different. I don't know why it is. For me, the future is to the left and forward, and the past is to the right and back. Some people it's forward and back. Some people it's the other way, right? Some people it's left and right. Everybody sees the future and the past differently, a line, right? If you just visualize it, if you just imagine it for a second, just imagine the future and past as a line, which direction does it go? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to float into the future for a second. I want you to step into that exact time, facing your future, looking at your list of 50 things, okay? I want you to go ahead and do that now. Step into the future now. Look at that list of 50 things that you're doing, right? Standing in your timeline, and I want you to look at that list, and I want you to say, what is the one thing on this list that I did to come up with $3,500? And I'm telling you something, your unconscious mind will highlight something on that list, and you will know exactly what you need to do to come up with $3,500. And here's the only thing that I can promise you. If you'll do that thing, you'll be able to do it in that exact amount of time specified every single time. And it's worked every single time. Okay? That's what you do. And you'll see it. It'll pop out on the page. You'll know it. You'll know which one it is. And some of you guys on the call, you know exactly what it is right now. Some of you got hundreds of thousands of dollars in your bank. You're just saying, gosh, Dave, shoot me an order form already. Well, it's not available yet, so don't worry about it. That's why we're talking about it now, because some people, they say, well, I don't have money. Well, now you have no excuse, right? Now you have no excuse. You'll know what it is, and if you'll do that, you'll be able to come up with the money in a moment. Guys, that is the most powerful way that I've ever seen, and here's what you do after you do that. You're sitting there on your timeline, you take your list, and you just drop that image into your timeline, step back into the moment, look out, and take action. But guys, if you do that, you can come up with resources you never imagined was possible. Amazing things will happen. Amazing things will happen in your life. Unbelievable things will happen at the last possible moment in order to help you get what you want. I've done it, and it is unbelievable how consistent it works. It's unbelievable how consistent it's worked with every single person I've walked it through. So if you guys are saying, well, I don't have money, well, I just taught you, guys, the most powerful way you'll ever hear in your life to eliminate no money for good. Now, can you make money in Empower Network without that? Yeah, obviously you can make money without any. You can make money with the blog and the inner circle with Empower Network, guys. You can make money at the lowest level at Empower Network. It's why we're here, right? And there will be people on this call. And guys, I want you to just dissolve any pressure that you've got, any pressure to perform, right? Any pressure to get the results that you want, any pressure to take action. Just dissolve it and let it go, right? Because we're not here for that. We're here to help you tap into financial resources. If you make a decision, you access things that are unaccessible to you, there's something that happens in your brain where you say, all of a sudden, I know that I have the power to get any result that I want in my life. Guys, first time I walked through somebody with this, I got on the phone, and there was a person on there, and I am not kidding you, they were homeless. And I've been homeless, so I just don't take any excuses, and I was still answering calls, and so, which I don't really do anymore, but I was on the phone with this guy, and I decided to try this off of a whim based on some stuff I know about psychology and hypnotherapy and things like this. And so I got on the call, and I said, let me walk you through this process now. And he said, okay. And I walked him through. This guy had no credit cards. He had no access to financial resources, and he needed to come up with $500 at the time to do something. I walked him through this process. I said, I'll give you 3 days only, and if you don't come up with it, I'll never talk to you again. You got the assignment? He said, yeah. I clicked. I hung up the phone, and that guy called me back 3 days later, and he just joined at the exact time that he specified in the vision that he read back out loud to me in the goal. And I saw that, and I said, you're freaking kidding me. And then I hung up the phone, and I was like, I got to try that again. And I talked to a lady who was bankrupt and had no credit cards. This is the next person I talked to. And she said, look, Dave, I really want to get in. I really want to make a decision. I want to get all in, but I don't have money. She needed to come up with $1,000 to do it. And so I was on the phone with this lady, and I walked her through this process. And I had her read the goal out loud to me, right, which is the most important step, because you're saying out loud what doesn't exist yet, and you're seeing it in your mind. I had her read it out loud to me, right? I told her, only honest, only ethical, right? That's all you're allowed to do. She walked through. She followed the assignment. 2.5 days later, she did a half day early. She called back. She says, Dave, it's unbelievable. Looking back over the last 3 days, it was easy. Exactly what I said would happen. And I saw that, and I said, people can come up with anything if they make a decision. Guys, that concept that I just taught you, forget the 3,500, forget getting the master's course, forget a pitch, forget anything, because remember, you can't even buy now, so it's not really a pitch, right? Guys, that concept alone by itself will help you access any single resource you ever need to access in your life. I think what I just taught you by itself is worth $3,500. It will help you overcome every single objection you'll ever hear with no money, because rich people don't make excuses, only the poor do, right? And you know the truth is, the reason they're rich is because they don't make excuses. There's no excuses for themselves. So I'm super excited. I'm excited for the change that this is going to bring. I'm also excited for where we're going to go, guys. I'm excited to help this community get to a new level. Guys, I see thousands of people who are six-figure earners, thousands of people who are earning more money than they've ever earned in their life, thousands of people able to pay their mortgages and pay their bills like Shalonda Gordon did, thousands of people who can't get out of bed around the world, who have just various disabilities in their life, who are making a six-figure income anyways, like Christina Munoz down in Australia, guys. Thousands of people who are making life-changing incomes, thousands of people being impacted by our culture and our products, thousands of people around the world. Guys, and here's what's going to happen. What's going to happen over the next 60 days will change the lives of the people who decide to do what I just said to do and decide to take action this week. It's going to change their lives. We're going to bring in more people. We're going to attract different players. What do you think is going to happen when people here start spitting off 100,000 a month earners, like most companies spit out 3,000 a month earners? What do you think is going to happen? All the players are going to come. And I'm telling you something, before that happens, you want to take action. You want to decide that you're not just all in emotionally and financially, that you're all in spiritually, that you're all in with your voice, that we're all in together with a unified vision and a unified voice looking into the future, guys, and you need to make a decision to run there with us together. So if you're listening to the replay, guys, if you didn't do the process, go back, rewind the audio, and obviously you guys are on the live call, but go back, rewind the audio, guys, download it, listen to it 4 times if you need to do it properly, do it properly with us over the next few days. Set a specific date and do not give yourself any more than 72 hours to come up with resources you need to get if you need to, okay? Don't give yourself more than 3 days. You don't need more than 3 days to come up with any amount of money you ever need in your life. I'm telling you, it's weird, but it's just the truth. Do not give yourself more than that amount of time. Read it out loud, come up with the 50 things, visualizing yourself, putting that into your timeline into the future, and when you step into the future and when you see yourself making a decision, you can also step into the future, and here's what I want you guys to do with me here for a second. I want to lead you guys into the future down a path in your life that's very much like my path. I want to show you what's possible. I want to show you how fast it can be done, and I want you guys to visualize this with me. I want you to see it with me, and I want you to be there with me envisioning this, because if you speak this, if you envision this, if we envision it together, there is nothing to stop us from getting the results that we want together as a unified community. I'm telling you, the difference with Empower Network is that my vision and Dave Sharp's vision is big enough to fit every single leader who's in Empower Network and what you want to get in your life as well. It's big enough, and we will accomplish it. We will accomplish it with or without you. We will accomplish it whether you're with us or not with us. We'll accomplish it whether you're running or not running, whether you buy the master's course or not. We will do it, guys, and it's right? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to, you can close your eyes if you're driving. Obviously, don't close your eyes. If you're driving, maybe pull over to the side of the road. It might be a good idea, just so you can spend some time and visualize. Because I do want you guys to close your eyes, and I want you guys to visualize your timeline. I want you to visualize the future and the past, and what you're going to notice is the future is one direction, the past is another direction, and I want you to just see the future, and I want you to just look into the past. I want you to look back over the past and the choices you've made in your life and realize that where you are in your life right now is a direct result of the choices that you've made since you've been decisions that you've made based on your experiences. It's not your experiences that determines where you are. It's the choices you make based on your experience. I want you to realize that some rich people come from the slums and all their brothers and all their families and all their sisters are poor. Some rich people come from rich families. I want you to realize that most rich people started with nothing and they just made different decisions than you, and realizing that you can make a different decision right now as you look into the future. What I want you to do, guys, is looking into the future, I want you to make a new decision. I want you to make a decision that you're going to do whatever it takes. I want you to make a decision that you are in the right place at the right time. I want you to make a decision that you finally do the things that you need to do. I want you to make a decision that your time for success, it's not just now, guys. I want you to realize something. Standing into this moment, looking into the future, the decision you make right now in your life, the decision you make right now in your life to go the direction you want to go, that decision will change all of the events. It's like you can look into the past and you can see the past folding and you can see things coming into place. You can see relationships bringing you up to this call, the million things that you needed to do to be on the call with us now. Just like that, there's going to be events, there's going to be decisions that go and stretch all the way down through your timeline, however far that goes, guys, and those things are going to come together at the exact right place at the exact right time to fulfill whatever intention you set, because for whatever reason, it's how the universe works. I don't know how it is, but whatever you see in the future tends to come together exactly the way that you see it. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to make a decision that you're going to hit your intention in the future. And I want you to step into a few days, and I want you to imagine yourself involved with us in the master's course and making a decision. Not only that, you're going to run with us. I want you to step 4 days in the future, 3 days, or whatever it is on Thursday night, because that's when we'll open it up on the website for everyone, right? I want you to imagine yourself placing your order. I want you to imagine yourself making a decision to be all in. And then I want you to look out, and I want you to look out and project yourself into the event in Austin, Texas. I want you to step forward, float above your timeline for a second. I want you to step into the future. I want you to stand there in the room with us, seeing the sea of people's faces, roaring and chanting 100% commission, 100% commissions. I want you to visualize the event. If you were at the San Diego event, visualize twice the crowd with us as you step into the future. And that's not just the important thing. I want you to visualize yourself in the room with at least 50 people in your team in the room with you. How did Tracy Walker get to $40,000 a month? She got 50 people at the last event. How's she going to get to $100,000 a month? She got 100 people at the San Diego event. Guys, I want you to see yourself there with a group of 50 people sitting with you. And I want you guys to be chanting with us, 100% commissions, 100% commissions, 100% commissions. I want you to look into your bank account at that time. I want you to look at the deposits that are coming into your bank account. I want you to look at that moment in your timeline, at that event in Austin, Texas. I want you to visualize with me now. I want you to visualize me now. You can set whatever goal that you set. I'm going to say set it at least $100,000 a month. I want you to visualize yourself at that event, looking back over the last 30 days. I want you to visualize yourself seeing $100,000 depositing in your bank account. And now, right now, wherever you are, I don't care if everybody around you thinks you're a weirdo. I want you to stand up. I want you to stand up, and I want you to say out loud, I'm making $100,000 per month the previous 30 days from the San Diego event. As I stand here in my timeline and I'm accomplishing that, that's it, period. I want you to say it out loud. I want you to be standing there visualizing in the previous 30 days $100,000 a month depositing in your bank account. Now what I want you to do, guys, and you can visualize 10,000 if you want to, if that scares you a little bit, making that much money. What I want you to do, I want you to step further into your future. I want you to step further into your timeline with me for a second. I want you to visualize with me for a second what it would be like to be in a room of 10,000 people in an auditorium chanting 100% commissions, 100% commissions, 100% commissions, 100% commissions. I want you to visualize yourself on that stage right now with me, looking at the auditorium chanting. You're on stage with me. You're on the stage with Dave Sharp. You're on the stage with Aaron Rashkin. You're on the stage with Tracy Walker, with Tony Rush, with Matt Zeiden, with Chuck Marshall. I want you to visualize yourself on that stage, looking out, being interviewed, and I'm asking you, how is it that you went from 0 to 100,000 a month? And just visualize what it feels like to describe that as you speak to the audience. Now what I want you to do is I want you to step 3 months into the future. I want you to imagine with me for a second 20,000 people in a room where almost all the room is making money. And I want you to see yourself with there, on stage looking out over the sea of faces. I want you to see 1,000 people in your team in that room. And when I say, who's on your team? And they chant, there's a roar that shakes the room. And I want you to visualize having the ability to travel where you want to travel, to go where you want to go. I want you to visualize what it would be like for me to ask you on stage, let me ask you, Tony Rush, how'd you get to $250,000 a month? You say it's easy. Just followed the 8 core steps, got all in, got my team to do the same, got them to the next event. Guys, see it. See it. Just go ahead and release those memories into your future. Just come back to the present here for a second and make a new decision. And then look out and see the events coming into your future together with you to make a new decision that everything's coming together in the exact way that you want it to come together. And now you're empowered to do whatever you want to do in life. Just decide to do it. Now it's time to take massive action. Don't let yourself make a decision any other moment than now. Make a decision now. Don't let yourself do it in the future. Do it right now. Do it right now, guys. Make a decision now and let those events come together and press forward and do whatever you've got to do to make it happen. Now I'm going to bring out some people. I've been talking for a long time, so I figured we'll bring out some people and just let you guys go. Dave, who'd you bring on? Dave?
Yeah, hey, brother. We got, I think we've got Tony. Tony, you on the call, brother?
I am right here, folks.
Hey, Tony, was that some royal badassery or what?
Yeah, I love that. Serious badassery. It's awesome. And you know what? It's solid gold. I think if I can kind of feel the vibe. I feel like there was a lot of people on the line that actually executed that, too. They didn't just listen. They're not going to be weenie and just sit and listen to instructions. I think they actually did it.
They did, and the breakthrough that's happening, and people feel it. You remember, Tony, and we could go back when you actually made the decision to do this, and just kind of how easy it was after that. You remember that?
Yeah.
There's a difference that happens when you realize that you're in the right place and the right time and you do it. Just real quick, man, just want to grab your thoughts just on tonight's call. I'm excited because the people who actually did it, they're going to do it. I mean, that's why I'm excited, because they actually have the ability to do it. What are your thoughts, man? I mean, you made what'd you make last month?
You know what? I just looked at the numbers today. I think it was like 52 is what I wound up doing in September.
Oh man, it's just gangster, man. I mean, did you ever think you'd be making $600,000 a year? In 10 months when you got into this deal? I just was wondering.
No. Oh Lord, no. And I tell you what. Here's what comes up for me on this whole thing. I think a lot of times when people kind of, if they're not really mentally all in, and they come to a call like this, and they're sort of, still got they're the toe in the water people. They're standing on the edge of the pool. They see everybody in the pool having a ball, and they want to be in the pool. They want to have a ball. They want to be jumping off the high dive, and they're doing all that, but they're letting the past or some baggage or some limiting belief hold them back. So they find themselves in a very uncomfortable position that they find themselves in over and over and over in life, which is this weird half crouch where they've got one foot on the edge of the pool and the other one they're sticking their toe in the water. And if you've ever done that for any length of time, it's actually hard to do that for any serious length of time. But it's a position that I think a lot of people find themselves in, and not just in the area of money, but especially in the area of money. They see people living the life that they want to live, and yet for some reason, if I can switch analogies for just a second, they like driving a car. They got the gas pedal pushed all the way down, but they got the other foot just as hard on the brake. And the funny thing is that those people, when they listen to a conversation like what you've laid out here tonight, some of that old monkey chatter comes in, and they start, hey, well, maybe Dave's just trying to convince me to buy something, But the truth is, people already know what they want to do. And you said that just a moment ago. People already know what they want to do. And conversations like this one really just create the space for people to do what it is they already want to do. There's really not a whole lot that I don't think we can do to get somebody to do something. But what we can do is be living, breathing examples of what happens when you choose to play big in life. And that was the breakthrough for me. I spent a lot of years crouching by the swimming pool, seeing people in the pool having a ball, and I was sort of in that weird no man's land of I want to be in, but I want to stand on the side of the pool too. And when you finally get it, that all the juice, all the rewards in life, all the fun, all the breakthroughs come from this letting go thing, letting go of all the reasons why to stay stuck. And I think when you do that and you actually are in the pool, you know, when you're actually living the life, when you're standing here, you know, earning, you know, over $500,000 a year after only 10 months, you look back and David, is so relaxing. And you realize just how much energy you used to spend on staying stuck. It's the craziest thing.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, that's it. Is I look back, you know, at the decision I made back in '09 when I had nothing, you know, and I made a decision that I was going to do it. It was going to happen. It was going to come into place no matter what. And I went out in this massive frenzy and just did whatever I had to do. And then I look back when I moved to Costa Rica. I got into that house. You know, I had that little house on the beach when I first moved down. It was a cheap house. I was making like $30,000 a month. My rent was like $700 a month. You know, it was hilarious. You know, I was sitting there like doing webinars and pacing back and forth while these huge lizards were running around in my yard and monkeys were throwing coconuts and stuff. I was sitting there like, and I stood back one night. I looked into the past, and I was like, holy shit! I literally this is like doing nothing. You know, I'm just in the flow all the time. And it all came from a moment where it happened it was at the time it was maybe 120 days earlier when I was sitting there and I was about ready to quit. I mean, I was right there. I was burnt out and nothing was working. It didn't feel like it was working. I was curled up next to my wife and, I remember saying to her, I was like, I think I'm going to quit. And she said, don't quit. So she says, is this your dream? I said, yeah. And she says, look, if you want to take a break, you take a break if you want to, but don't ever give up on your dreams. It's not why I married you. You know? She said something along those lines. And I'm tears streaming down my face, and I just said, I'm doing this shit no matter what. It was 90 days later. It's my first 30,000 month. I mean, it was that fast. It was like an instant. And that decision, it was like it was all easy. Tony, thanks. Yeah, I think you're going to make $150,000 this month. I'm just saying.
I would not be at all surprised, and that's the intention. And certainly, as we roll into the last 90 days of the year, I think last 80 days of the year, the cool thing is that there's still all the time in the world for anybody who just got started today to actually take these last 80-something days and actually make 2012 the best year of their life. And it's a beautiful thing. Hey, thanks for letting me jump out, man.
Hey, thanks for coming out, brother. Appreciate you. All right, Aaron Rashkin, you still on the call, man? Rashkin. I don't know if he's still on. He emailed me a minute ago.
You guys hear me?
Oh, yeah, dude. Hey, great to have you on, brother. What did you think of the call tonight, by the way?
Oh, man, I'm just sitting in my office just taking notes. I'll tell you what, guys, I just pulled out the piece of paper that you had us write down at the Papagayo, the Hilton Papagayo in Costa Rica back in August. And I was looking at my goals, and it's pretty cool. I'm going to upload it to Facebook. I wrote down that I would be standing on stage in front of 3,000 people in the San Diego Convention Center getting a check for $100,000. Now, I said that I was going to work for 2 hours. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hey, just so you know, hey, Dave Sharp, I need to take off on the call. I need you to take over after Aaron Rashkin's done talking here. So.
Yeah, I'm getting terrible echo, so I'm not sure if you guys are able to hear me or not.
I
said that I would work for 2 hours, and I just pulled this piece of paper out and took a picture of it to upload to Facebook, and it's just the power of the goal. You know, I only actually worked about 1 hour for the entire, 90 days that we set these goals for. And, I looked at our check. We just got presented with this check for $69,000, I think it's $452 or something like that. And it just shows me, it reinforces the power of a goal. Now, I didn't work the amount of time that I said I would. I said I would work for 2 hours a day. I only worked for 1 hour a day for probably 3, maybe 4, sometimes 5 days a week, 1 hour a day, and was able to generate close to $70,000. Now, that doesn't mean that that's the be all end all. But the point is that when you set your goal and you set your intention, and I overstated my goal. My original goal was to make $75,000, but I added an extra $25,000 because I always like to stretch myself. And by writing the goal down and keeping it on my desk, and when you see the picture on Facebook, you'll see it's pretty wrinkled and shriveled up. I stared at that goal every day, and I knew that if I just did a little bit each day, because I know it's not what we do that makes us successful, but what we do daily, and by doing a little bit each day, doing our marketing, doing our advertising, reaching out and connecting with our list, building a list, driving traffic, sending broadcasts, promoting the calls, using other people's photos, swipe copy, using other people's written words, and driving people into your funnel, Dave. I knew it was just a matter of doing the work repeated over time that would get us there. And I see that happening with our team. I see that happening with so many members in the Empower Network. And what you guys just did on this call, I actually did the exercise sitting in my office listening to my kids play out in the living room. And I did it because I know that by doing that, by writing down these goals, by visualizing what's possible, by putting it into a written format where I can see it and visualize it every single day, I know that I'll be able to play with my kids every day for the rest of their lives without ever having a job. And that's why I do what I do. That's why I know Sophia does what she does. And this call was just amazing, and I'm so excited to see the people in Austin, nearly 4,000 people coming out to this event with their goals have been not just met but exceeded, and the stories that are going to come out of what goes on here over the next 90 days are just going to take this company, take this. We've actually said this several times, but the Empower Network has breathed a whole new breath of fresh air into our profession. I'm not even going to call it an industry because it's a profession. And you guys have raised the bar. You have taken it to a whole new level. And I've never seen so many people so excited, not just because of the culture and because of the product line and the training and the camaraderie and the friendships and the 100% commissions, but nothing speaks louder to this entire industry and to our profession than the fact that you guys as owners, Dave and Dave, you allow us to make just as much money and even more than you as the company owners. And we as members of the company have the same opportunity, and there's nothing that speaks louder to the fact that we are so safe with you guys not pitching every product launch, not pitching every new gimmick that comes down the internet highway to try to make an extra buck off of a huge database of well over 1 million leads that you guys have created in the last 10 months. And that's why Sophia and I have planted our flag here. So when you ask how I feel about the call tonight, this call was exactly what I was looking for and what I required to help take our team and their business to a whole new level, because as we talked about in San Diego, the speed of the team moves at the speed of the leader, and you've always got to be out in front leading your team. No matter if you're brand new, you just got started tonight, you got started last week, last month, or you've been here for 9, 10 months, you always want to be leading by example, because the only thing that we actually owe our members is to be an example of success. So that being said, Dave, I know you jumped off the line, but Dave Sharp, I think you're still with us, so I'll pass it back over to you, my friend.
Yeah, Dave Sharp here. Hey, brother, and I'll tell you what, man, you're an example of success, and I just, I tell you what, I've said this before, I'll say it again. A guy like you and your wife, Sophia, to have you guys on board just shows me that we're in the right place at the right time, and that you guys see the vision. It's just that speaks volumes. So just your presence here, not only the fact that you were on stage getting a check for, I don't even know what it was, some ungodly amount, and you've done the type of income that you've done since you've been here. It's not that. It's just your pure presence here. You guys believe in us. Just speaks volumes, and I appreciate you guys.
We appreciate you too, and I know I speak for Sophia as well, Dave. We love you guys.
All right, love you too. Hey, Chris Record, you're on the call.
I am, Dave.
Hey, guys, listen, we've got a few more minutes here. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to plug in. I want you to listen very, very closely to what these last couple of guests are going to say. And I'm actually going to have some action steps for you here at the end of the call. We're going to be here just for a few more minutes, so I want you to put your seatbelt on, buckle in, hang in there, because this is the most important part of the call of listening here to the follow-through and the action plan. Chris, you have been in the industry selling all kinds of things, and when I say all kinds of things, I mean all kinds of different price points. Give me your perspective. For those of you who don't know Chris, he's kind of a behind-the-scenes gangster who's been killing it in Empower. I think he was 5 or 6 in the competition that we just ran. He was on stage. He killed it on stage. He delivered a message of inspiration and hope from his story and exactly what he's done to be able to get success and have massive success over the course of the last, I don't know how long you've been involved. I think it's been 5 or 6 months. I just wanted to get your perspective in a nutshell of what you think is going to happen once we release the master's course and people are not only able to get their hands on what we revealed in Costa Rica back in August, but also having the ability to earn $3,000 commissions.
Yeah, no problem, Dave. And I just got to say, so far, this has been one of my favorite calls, period, since I've been in the company. I've received probably a dozen or so text messages, at least, just people just texting me out of the blue saying, this is the craziest, best call ever. I can't wait for the recording so I can listen to it again. So we're just lit up on fire right now. I'll be brief, too, because I know it's late in the call. But there's a lot of parallels to what's going on here with the launch of this new product, with what Empower Network's going through, and a previous experience for me. So if there's anybody I can relate to on the phone, if anybody on the phone right now, if anybody on this call is listening and you want this thing bad, I mean, you want it bad, but maybe your financial situation, you're just not in a place where you could pull out a check and write a check, or you just don't have it on your credit card. Maybe you just don't see that you can borrow it from friends. If you're in that place right now, let me just see if I can relate to you for a minute, because I had this exact opportunity happen to me back in 2006. What had happened, the short version of what had happened was me and my girlfriend at the time, she's now my wife, we had hit rock bottom. You know, we had some ups, we had had some downs, but we had hit rock bottom. And, basically we were getting evicted from our small little apartment. We were that week, we're getting evicted, right? You think that's bad. Well, we also got rear-ended in a car accident. Our car ended up being a total loss. I ended up with whiplash because of how it went down. And I couldn't even drive for a couple of weeks. In fact, it was so humiliating. I'd wake up in the morning and my girlfriend had to dress me because I just really couldn't get my body together to be able to even do it. And it gets a little bit worse. You know, when I say rock bottom, I mean our bank account went negative. We were negative by at least a couple $100. I couldn't get a loan because credit was 485. That was my credit score. My wife was just around the same. I mean, things were pretty bad. We were getting ready to move basically back home, try to go back and live back home with our parents. And I had almost accepted defeat. I was at that sort of brink, and I know David Sharp can relate to this because I've heard his story a lot. I was right there at that moment where things were just going bad for me. And I don't know if anybody can relate. If you're listening in right now and you could relate, if you've been in that situation or you're in that situation now where finances is tough, but you just want this thing so bad, that's exactly how it was for me. That same exact moment in my life is when I came across a top-tier direct sales opportunity. We went to a meeting. We heard this speaker. There was this phenomenal opportunity where we could make some money. But guess what the catch was? It was a $20,000 buy-in. $20,000. So here I was getting ready to get evicted from an apartment with negative bank account, can't get a loan anywhere, and it's a $20,000 decision that was sitting in front of me. And I literally went through a very similar experience to what David Wood put out on the call today, which was I put it out there to the universe. I put the intention out there, and I made a decision right then and there in my small little tiny apartment that we were just hanging on to, hoping that they don't come take us out of there. And I just made a decision. You know what? It's possible. So there's one thing that really changed for me, which was I used to be the kind of person that said, I can't afford this. I can't do that. I can't get a loan. I can't come up with the money. I can't. And what kind of success comes from that? In fact, I don't think I've met anybody successful that speaks like that. So I decided to change it up. Instead of saying I can't, I said, how can I? How can I get a loan? Or how can I come up with the money? How can I turn my life around? How can I keep my apartment? how can I get another car? It started being, how can I? And the power there is what Dave Wood was talking about on the call tonight, which was I basically put it in my subconscious, this idea that it's possible. And it was the smallest little seed of belief. And I'll tell you, I'm going to be honest, it wasn't a huge one at the time because times were hard for me. But it was that smallest little seed of belief that I planted, it blossomed and it bloomed. And in just a very short amount of time, I came up with that $20,000. And I went from a negative bank account and a 485 credit score to my first month in that opportunity making $16,000. Next month, $20,000. Next month, over $30,000. And then a couple months later, over $50,000. Then over $70,000 in a single month. And my whole entire life changed. I went from negative bank account to nearly $500,000 inside of 12 months, guys. Inside of 12 months because of that decision. Now, that company was a company in the past. It was a good opportunity back then. I'm definitely no longer with that. I don't want to get any emails from anybody. I'm 100% on board right now with Empower Network as the opportunity that I'm doing. And I'll tell you right now, this same situation presented itself here. You've got the opportunity in front of you like I had, where right now the new all-in this company might be a hefty price tag for some of you. But I'm going to tell you right now, I truly believe from the bottom of my heart, if you just find it within yourself to say, you know what? I'm sick and tired of living the same lifestyle, of going through these same problems, of driving the same car, just not having what I want to have, whatever it is. Or maybe you just want more time. Whatever that is, go, you know what? I'm going to make a stand. I'm absolutely going to take a stand, and I'm going to finally take control of my business. I'm going to go all in because, number one, that's the right way to do business, is going all in, being a winner, right? But number two, it's going to position yourself to make the most amount of money. If you're wondering how people like Tony Rush are cranking out these massive months, guarantee you they're all in. Go talk to anybody making $20,000 a month or more, right? Success leaves clues. They're all in. So if you're on this call and you can relate to the short story that I just told you about going from being flat broke, not having the money, to making $500,000 because I planted that seed of belief, made the decision, took massive action, and came up with the money, then what I would encourage you to do is do the same. And remember, it's not just going all in. It's going all in with everything. It's going all in with your activity. It's taking massive action. It's going all in with your attitude. That means going all in, getting rid of the wussy attitude. No more complaining. No more looking at things negatively. No more being a wussy that needs, hand-holding. None of that. Just going all in on being a leader, on being a winner, on being someone who's going to be successful in this company. So, Dave, I just want to tell you, I'm lit up. I'm on fire for this company right now. I'm looking forward to Austin. We're absolutely going to tear it up. We're going to have a huge team on stage and at the audience there. And I'll tell you right now, this company has momentum, and I'm proud to say that I'm a part of the Empower Network.
Hey, guys, I just want you to listen to the names and listen to the voices of the leaders, because I can tell you one thing. We've got the single greatest, most powerful group of leaders that this industry has ever seen. If you ain't in Empower Network and you're still on this call, hit the link that you were sent either in the email or on Facebook and get in now. Chris Record, love you. I'm looking forward to hanging out with your teammate and business partner, Peter Sorensen and Arthur Tubman. Your entire team is all in, and not only are they all in mentally, emotionally, physically, with products, with their heart, with their mind, but they're also all in with their resources. They're actually flying over to freaking Singapore with us, and they're going to go and tear it up over there. Guys, you guys are rock stars, all of you on your team. You guys are badass. I love you. One last person that I want to bring on. I might bring on two more guys. It's just getting better. I want you to stand up. I want you to start pacing around. I want you to start thinking about what your business is going to be like here in the next week as you start commanding $3,000 commissions into your bank account. You start going through the Empower Network Masters course and learning exactly what we revealed down in Costa Rica in August that has literally changed people's businesses from 5,000, like people like Chris and Susan Beasley, to having massive results. These are just a few people who are down in Costa Rica who literally took what we taught down there, implemented into their business, and are already, and we're already seeing results by the event in San Diego. Robert Mercado, are you on the call, brother?
I am David Sharp. How are you?
Listen, brother, I just want to ask a couple of questions. First, guys, this is Robert Mercado. I know just from the dadgum sound of your voice, I don't know exactly where you live, but I'm thinking it's up in the Northeast.
No, I'm here actually in Bronx, New York, Co-op City. We're moving up to Florida soon.
Of course you are, because you just bought a brand new house, right?
Exactly. And I got to thank Empower Network for that, David. I really appreciate everything you guys have done.
So, brother, how old are you?
Mm-hmm. I'm 25 years young right now.
25 years young. Where were you 6 months ago, 9 months ago, whatever, before you got involved with Empower Network?
Well, I'm glad that you asked me that, David, and I appreciate you having me on the call. Just wanted to let you know I'm definitely honored to be on here. And really quick, if you don't mind, I just wanted to mention something that David Wood brought up earlier in the call about belief levels. That's okay, David. We're all working here with leaders that do and follow through with what they encourage us to do. See, imagine if David Wood didn't surpass those thoughts that could have prevented Empower Network to exist. See, and David Sharp, if he didn't take the choice to fly to Costa Rica for the retreat David Wood had held there, would Empower be as badass as it is? Absolutely not. And thank God for Erin, who is David Sharp's girlfriend, great person, for pushing Sharp to go to Costa Rica. And see, a lot of us don't have a partner that is as supportive as we like them to be or supportive at all. Some of us don't have a partner. Some of us, unfortunately, lost a partner. And either way, you want to use that as a reason, use that as motivation to go win for you and your family. Instead of using it as a reason not to make it, go use that as a reason to win for you and your family. See, there's people on the call that may or may not be in Empower Network already that are asking themselves, can I do this? And I'm here to tell you the answer to that question is yes, you can, guys. See, there are people on the call that have never made any money online, that have never made, that made money for the first time online here with Empower Network. There's also people on the call that have made money online, maybe a little bit, maybe a lot, but they're now making lots with Empower Network without making phone calls, without holding hotel meetings, or any of the traditional things you have to do to make money online. And the difference is not only that they are making more money here with Empower, it's easier than ever before, but you can enjoy your lives doing it. See, folks, again, my name is Robert Mercado. I'm 25 years young. I worked at a diner as a delivery boy about 6 months ago, working 12 hours a day, 6, sometimes 7 days a week, and I'm completely new to making money online. I delivered across the street from the diner to a medical billing office, and an incredibly beautiful lady by the name of Allie answered the door. And either the food was that damn good or I'm just that damn good looking that she soon after became my wife. And I'm just kidding with you guys, but it's funny how life works and everything comes together like David Sharp and David Wood speak about. I saw the talent that Allie had with her medical billing skills, and I encouraged her to start her own business. She then, did that until today she works from home doing that. See, now I'm still busting my butt, working like a dog, and I got a little jealous because she's working from home and I'm going out to the diner working crazy hours. So I'm so glad that Empower Network, guys, was something I found early on. It was all history from there. Last month I finished off with almost $10,000 in income and hitting number 6 in the contest out of 50,000 other affiliates. And, guys, I don't say that to impress you guys, but I say it to impress upon you that you see the leaders that are on the call like Tony Rush and Tracy Walker and, Chuck Marshall and Lawrence Tam that are in the company. And sometimes you may say, well, you know what? They had this before. They had that before. And some of them didn't start with anything either, by the way. But, use me as confidence. Borrow my confidence. Someone new to the industry that has had this amount of success. I mean, I was just saying, with David on the line here that, we purchased a home. I mean, that's something new to us. We never had a home. Well, we had a home, of course, but we never had a house that we can actually be like, wow, this is ours. And I just want to let you know, David, that honestly, you've been such an inspiration for me amongst, I'm sure, millions of people. But, you calling me out on stage at the event and you mentioning me at the end of the event, inside I had that burning desire that was sitting by the desk, working my butt off and saying, I'm going to win. I've been with a lot of other companies before, offline marketing and all that, and a lot of other people always recognized. A lot of other people were always granted all of the awards and stuff like that, and I know I had it in me. And you by far, David Sharp, God bless you, because you were one that said, you know what, let's bring him up. Let's mention him and expose him. And guys, everyone on the call, I just wanted to share my story. Let it inspire you, but not only inspire you, let it allow you to take action. Get started today if you're not already in Empower Network. If you are, you're in the best time possible. Like Dave and Dave said, they're just unleashing a new program. And, guys, if you missed the boat before, don't miss it now. Dave Sharp, I'm going to leave it at that because I know the call did go a little long, but I just want to let you know thank you again. I appreciate all the leaders on the team and everyone that's in Empower Network. Just win for you and your family, and I'll see you all at the top. Over to you, David.
Hey, brother, there's never a call that's too long for a badass message like that, dude. You know what? I mean, I just, truthfully, at the beginning of the call, we wanted to bring some people out, and I went back there to the contest leaderboard, which is still up in the back office, and I saw your name there in all capitals, man. And I said, you know, that's a guy who we didn't know before the contest. I didn't know who you were, man. And just like you said 6 months ago or whatever, before you got started, you were, you know, delivering pizzas or food or whatever the hell you were doing up there in New York. And I just got to tell you, dude, that this is what it's about. It's about lifting people up. It's about not only giving people recognition, but also helping them earn money instead of just giving them recognition and keeping a bunch of people poor. Dude, you're doing it. You're making it, brother, and you deserve every bit of success that you're getting, man. I'll see you at the top, brother. I'll see you on stage in freaking Austin.
You got it. Thank you, David.
Hey, we've got to bring out our top female income earner. Tracy, are you on the call?
I'm here, Dave. Can you hear me?
Tracy, of course I can hear you. It's such an honor to have you on the call. Hey, listen, I just wanted you to give us just a quick nutshell before we wrap the call up of what you think is going to happen over the course of the next 80 or so something days before Austin when we release this master's course, $3,000 commissions. You were in Costa Rica. You know what we taught down there because you were actually teaching and training down there. You're one badass female. You've got one of the most badass teams in the entire freaking world. And I just want to get your thoughts before we wrap the call up.
Well, I would absolutely love to share and you know, give some final thoughts. Over the next 80 or so days, Dave, I think that Empower Network is going to absolutely explode. And when I say explode, I mean nothing like we've ever seen before, meaning so many people being able to make large sums of money by working from home, by following the system that you and Dave put together, by following the 8 core commitments, by getting their teams to the events, by blogging daily. These are such simple tasks if you actually consider what most people have to do to make any money online. All people have to do is pretty much get on these calls and do what we are recommending for them to do. I am so honored to be amongst the ranks of Tony Rush, who I heard this evening, and Chris Record, and Robert we just heard, and Aaron Rashkin, and all the wonderful people and the leaders that are part of our community. I just honestly believe that once people are able to get their hands on the master's course, not only is the information in there transformational, and not only do I wholeheartedly believe that every single person at the sound of my voice deserves to have this information for the betterment of their families and the betterment of their skill sets to increase their income, but I also believe the simple fact that we're able to attach a $3,000 commission to it is literally going to help people catapult into the stratosphere of what they thought was possible. Dave went through a phenomenal exercise this evening on the call. The ironic thing about this is that after the San Diego event, I had one more training to attend down in Joshua Tree Retreat Center in California. And that whole week was all about projecting yourself into the future and seeing the things that you want. And speaking the things that you want, and literally feeling the feelings of how you would feel as you have those things that you want, and then going back, looking in the past, and understanding that that is all it is, that it is the past, and that today we now have to start focusing on the things that we want to do differently. We have to start going in the direction that we want to go. We have to stop putting our foot on the gas and the brake all at the same time and wondering why the car won't go out the driveway. We've got to really start to just let go and listen. We've got to decide to just take action. We've got to just decide to do what we have to do. And that literally just boils down to stop talking about you're doing the best that you can. It's only about doing whatever it takes. And I believe that this community and this leadership exemplifies that to the highest power possible. It is illuminating itself throughout this group. It is illuminating itself throughout all of the people that were on that stage, people that nobody knew. Not so that they were nobodies. There were some bodies that came through the ranks of starting from scratch, which just proves our point. point. 90 days ago, no one knew who they were, and 90 days later, they're on a stage. It has truly uplifted so many of the spirits, not just in my team, but from where I see people posting on Facebook who are just all over at Empower Network, really taking it seriously now, really putting their pedal to the metal. And I just, honestly, I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to have that conversation with you and Dave back in October of 2011. I'm so excited that I had the faith and the belief in myself that we would make this work on whatever I could do, and the belief and the faith that you guys were true to the game, that you were serious about helping to help people build their incomes, and that your vision was honest, and that you wanted to create the richest team on the internet. I bought into your vision. And all I can ask anyone listening now is that if you have not bought into the vision of what Empower Network is doing, then now is the time to take action. Now is the time to get all in. Now is the time to do something different than you've done all the other times, because now it's just a collective of all the past decisions that you've made. And if you are not thrilled and jumping for joy with where you are, and you feel like you could not do any better than where you are, then continue to make those decisions. But if you feel that life can be improved, if you feel that you can literally take things to new levels, if you actually want to be around people who know what they're doing, around people who enjoy themselves doing it, around people who are not all stiff and uptight and who wear beef and vendetta masks on their face at an event, and who shout 100% commissions at the end of a conference call, and who yell and scream get all in, and who are excited to wear T-shirts that say don't be a wussy, and have a woman with cleavage showing in cards on a table. I mean, where else are you going to do this? Have fun, be around like-minded individuals, make a massive amount of money doing it from home, enjoying your life, your family, having your time back. I just don't see where it's possible. And if after 50,000 people, over 50,000 people signing up, if you don't see that you still have a place here right now, we're still in the first year. We haven't even hit the second year yet. If you understand that you now have a place within our community of Empower Network, now is the time to literally just do something about it, do something different. And Dave, we are on a roll. I can feel the energy just through this call this whole night. I'm so excited that D. Wood took everyone through that exercise. It's so powerful when you just go into the future in your mind and you see it. And not only do you see it, but you feel it, because it's all about the feeling that you have. It's not just about making $100,000 and saying it. It's about once you have it and you see it in your mind in the future, how do you feel about that $100,000? What are you doing with that $100,000? How are you helping people with this $100,000? What toys are you buying with this $100,000? How are you enhancing your life and the lives of those around you with this $100,000? All those things have emotions tied to them, and those emotions that you feel when you think about that future will propel you, even in times when you're having a bad day, even in times when you don't make any sales, even in times when your team isn't moving the way you think they should be moving yet, even in times when your blog isn't working, even in times when your income isn't where you want it to be yet, even in times when you can't get on a conference call because it's maxed out like this call is. I've got several people saying that. Even in times when you just don't think you can be on that stage, you can look at somebody like Robert Mercado, you can look at somebody like Peter Sorensen, Chris Recker's team, and you can look at all these people like Neve, and you can say, yes, I can. And because of that, because we can continue to see so many new people rising through the ranks, and it's not just the same group of people over and over and over, I know for a fact that this ball is moving. We are going downhill, which means momentum is picking up, speed is picking up, and if speed picks up energy, that just means the energy is moving faster. And when the energy is moving faster, the incomes are growing larger, and all I'm saying is that you deserve to have your income grow right along with the rest of us. So, Dave, I'm going to turn the call back over to you. Thank you so much for bringing me out, and I can't wait to rock it out in Austin, Texas. We are super pumped. I'm telling you that. Back to you, Dave.
Hey, appreciate you, Tracy. I'll tell you what, we've got some rock star females. Guys, let me tell you something. Actually, ladies, let me tell you something. There is room for an Empower Network. We want you in Empower Network. We want to lift you up in Empower Network. We want more women on the stage than men at Empower Network. We want 100,000 a month women earners at Empower Network. We want people from all different races, religions, backgrounds. We want people with different hair colors who look different, who smell different, who act different, who talk different. We want people from all across the world, male and female, to come together, united, guys, stand on stage, fight the forces of evil, and release their inner badass. Guys, I've got a 5-step action plan that I want you guys to write down and implement over the course of the next couple of days. Number 1, get your piece of paper and pencil. Get your piece of paper and pencil. Number 1 is I want you to re-listen to this audio every single day, morning and night. Very important, guys. You must re-listen to this audio every single day, morning and night. This week, this one very week, the first week in October leading up to our year anniversary, is going to be the most important week in your business. Guys, we're coming towards the end of the year. We're coming towards the holiday season. In the home-based business industry, this is the busiest time of the year. People are getting back into the groove of life. Their kids are going back to school. They've ended summer vacation. They're starting to realize where they're at. They spent all their money on vacations. They need money. They need hope. They need inspiration. They need a way out. And you have what it takes to give it to them, guys. I want you to re-listen to this audio every single day. That's number 1. Number 2 is I want you to do the exercise that Wood went over earlier, once in the morning and once at night. Friends, if you master that exercise, I've done it and personally done it with people, the psychology that you'll start to understand to be able to implement and practice that with other people will be beyond your wildest dreams. Guys, the ability to be able to instantly overcome all of the resistance to buying, taking action, and getting all in, not only physically, mentally, and emotionally, is unbelievable. It's the absolute secret. It's your ticket out. It is what I did and every other leader did on this call to be able to overcome massive odds and experience massive success. Number 2, do the exercise that Dave Wood went over tonight on this call every day and every single night. Number 3, I want you to get your payment source ready. Guys, when we launch the Masters course, it's going to be an absolute buying frenzy. People are going to rush to the order page. When you have the opportunity to buy, and certain people are going to have the privilege to buy at first, okay? If you're one of those people that has the privilege to buy at first, then I want you to absolutely be watching your email like a freaking hawk and have your payment source ready. What do I mean by payment source ready? Well, when you're purchasing something that's over $500 or $1,000, oftentimes you need to call the bank. You might want to just go ahead and put in a call to the bank or the credit card company or however you're going to come up with your resourcefulness to be able to take action. I want you to do that. I want you to get your payment source ready. That is step number 3. Step number 4 is, guys, get with your team. If you have a team of 1,000 or you have a team of 2, get with your team and let them know something big is coming and have them implement this 5-step plan. This is the action plan that's going to make this the biggest week of your entire career. Guys, I promise you, if you follow these steps, it's going to be beyond your wildest dreams. You have to take action, though. You have to take action. Number 5, I want you to get all in. Get all in. Guys, I want you to get all in. If you ain't all in by now, get all in. If you're listening to this call and you ain't in Empower Network yet, get in. If you're in Empower Network and you're just fiddling around and you've been waiting and wondering and sitting and wondering if you shoulda, woulda, coulda, if the time is right, when you have the money, friend, just get in. Just make a decision. Realize that your future is going to depend on the action that you take. I'm going to teach you one last thing here on this call tonight that's made the absolute biggest difference in my entire life. And guys, I'm going to speak to you from not only the perspective of building a business, but I'm also going to speak to you from the perspective of how I transform my life. I sat around for years, wishing, hoping, and thinking that I could stop trying to kill myself. I was slowly killing myself, not only physically, but also mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. I would drive around in the neighborhood that I knew my daughter was in back when I was on the streets. I didn't wander far from the neighborhood that I grew up in. And my mom, God bless her soul, helped take care of my daughter when I was out finding myself and going through my challenges, pains, and life. And I would ride around, and whether it be the car that I had at that time living out of, or whether it was in somebody else's car, and I would be blocks or within a mile away from where my daughter was, and I remember thinking to myself, one day I'm just going to do it. One day I'm just going to be a dad to her. One day I'm just going to get clean and stop all this madness, and I'm going to change my life. And I would sit there and I would think, and I would think, and I would try to think my way into a new way of living. I would sit around when I was working construction, and I was hating life, being poor, couldn't afford to even buy my girlfriend or daughter a new pair of shoes, had to crunch numbers every month because I didn't know whether I was going to make the bills. And I would sit around and I'd sweat my ass off in the hot Florida sun on a construction job, thinking about how one day I would come up with a way to be able to get out of that situation. Guys, I learned a lesson that you can't think yourself into a new way of action. You've got to act yourself into a new way of thinking. You cannot think yourself out of the situation that you're in. You have to act it. Guys, you have to act it. You have to put action forward. You have to stop thinking yourself out of success. You have to get out of your own way. You have to realize that sometimes that big old dome that sits on top of your shoulders ain't doing nothing but walking you away from success. It ain't doing nothing except pushing you farther and farther away from your dream. Sometimes you have to get out of your own way. Sometimes you have to realize that the biggest, greatest, and most powerful things ever inside of this world have been created out of the unconscious spirit and the heart and action. Guys, action. Guys, that big old stinking, thinking, bad neighborhood that sits on top of our shoulders is the single biggest income reducer I've ever seen. There were so many days, weeks, months, and years that I sat around trying to think my way into a new lifestyle, think my way into a new income level, think my way into a new situation, and I'll tell you what, it never happened. So many times we sit around and we think ourselves right out of success, think ourselves right out of the next opportunity, sit around and think about if we should do it, if we would do it, if we could do it. Maybe we'll wait a little bit and see if it works for such and such. Maybe we'll sit back and we'll wait and see if somebody else has success. And the truth of the matter is sometimes you've got to be bold. Sometimes you've got to take action. Sometimes you've got to make a decision. Sometimes you've got to lead with your heart and not with your mind. Sometimes you've got to reach deep down inside your unconscious and make a freaking decision and realize that that's the only way that you're going to get ahead is by doing it yourself and moving your feet, lacing your boots up, and walking forward. Sometimes you don't know what's going to be on the other side of the door. Sometimes you don't know what's going to be on the other side of the fence, and you've got to go anyways. Because I'll tell you what, if you want to be great in life, you've got to be bold. If you want to be great in life, you've got to take action. If you want to be great in life, you've got to march forward. If you've got to want to be great in life, you've got to believe. If you want to be great in life, you've got to lead. You've got to talk. You've got to absolutely walk your talk. Can't just sit around and expect everybody to be on board with you and believe in you if you ain't taking action. There's a lot of people who talk a lot of shit in this world who sit around in a circle and ain't doing a damn thing. And all they do is they sit around and they bitch about how life could be or should be or would be if such and such was in place. And the truth of the matter is the people who are out there living the dreams are the people who are out there walking their dreams, not just talking their dreams but taking action. Guys, this week can be the biggest week of your life. But you've got to make it happen. You've got to follow the action plan that I just gave you. You've got to implement what we talked about on this call tonight, and you've got to sit back and watch what will happen if you just march and be bold and take action. Guys, I'm telling you, it's the only way to do it. It's the only way out of the situation that you're in. It's the only option. Guys, we have come down to a point in this world where there are walkers and there are talkers, and it is just that simple. That's it, period, and there is no in-between. And you've got to decide which one you are. You've got to decide if you want to run with the big dogs or you want to stay on the porch. You've got to decide if you're going to be a leader, and you've got to decide if you can lead. You've got to decide if where you are right now is where you want to be in 6 months. Where you are right now is where you want to be when we're Austin. As I can tell you that a lot of people think that me and Dave were always these people with skill sets and talents, and I can tell you that something, friend, when I got clean almost 5 years ago, I couldn't put 2 sentences together, but I'll tell you what I did. I freaking took action. I didn't give up. I realized and listened that I didn't know everything. I listened to the people who had walked in front of me, who had the experience for doing what I wanted to do. I found some people that had what I wanted, and I followed them, and I listened, and I took action. And you know what I just realized recently, over in the past about year and a half, 2 years, is that money is nothing but paper anyways. I completely detached from it and realized that it means nothing. The truth of the matter is it means nothing, and I can make more of it any single time that I want because I'm invested in my future. I'm invested in myself, and no matter what, even if I lost it all today, it wouldn't matter because I could make it all back because I believe in myself, and I know that I'll take action. I know that nobody can hold me down. I know that this is a movement because we've got a bunch of people who are leaders not afraid to take action as well, and we are going places, friends, with or without you, but it's going to be more fun with you. Guys, we are going to march into Austin with 4,000 people, in between 4,000 and 5,000 people right now. There's limited seating. And guys, I can promise you that there are going to be people on stage getting big ass checks who are at zero right now. And the question is, will that person be you? I can't tell you that. I can't make that decision for you. I can only put in place what you need to be able to make it happen. You've got the easy part. You've just got to make a decision. And the question is, are you going to do it? Guys, this is the fucking time to do it. There's no other time like it is right now. And if you're going to run with us, damn it, make a decision. And let's make this week the biggest freaking week in your entire life. I love you. I'm going to unmute these freaking lines, and I want you to scream your ass off if you're with me. Let's lock arms and fight the forces of evil.
Hello.